All right, what's going on? What's going on? How you guys doing? Welcome to the No Name Show. It's your boy Will in the house, William Basham, that is. And in the house we got
What up, y'all? It's A.Dot in the house.
A.Dot, A.Dot.
Repping that AZ.
Hey. And we got a dear friend, a comedian friend in the house. What's your name, brother?
I go by the name of Nick Alexander.
Hey.
Two first names.
Nick Alexander. Two first names.
Alexander.
Right.
What's happening?
My name's so good I had to do two. So what's going on, man? So yeah, let's go ahead and talk. We got the No Name Show going on. We still got No Name, you guys. So if you guys got any names out there, you know what I'm saying, come rock with it.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Podcast Anonymous.
We might go, yeah.
Podcast
I
Anonymous.
kind of like the No Name
The
podcast.
no name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like no name.
The No
That
Name.
works too.
They both work. They both have neither a name.
Neither name podcast anonymous.
Thanks for having me.
Uh-oh.
y'all.
Look who jumped up in here.
Show the side.
Sneaking in. We got people sneaking in the room.
Sneaking in.
Got you. Yeah, there's no security here. People just can come up in here.
Right.
Right.
Anybody just
If
looking
somebody
here.
came to stick us up, we would just have to go, God damn, can we at least finish the pod first?
Can we at
Like,
least finish? Right.
The equipment.
Right?
That's a good mic over there. You might want to take that speaker.
You want to take that mic. You don't really want this mic.
You just keep your hands up. Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
I
I,
ain't
just
got
got a little, little
Right.
chapstick.
But you want the chapstick? Okay, for sure.
A little something.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into some topics that we got going on today.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff with music right now. A lot of stuff with the comedy world, Netflix. I'm sure you guys have
Yes.
seen. A lot of stuff in the sports world. So, but before we do that, I want to kick it in and let everybody know who Nick Alexander is.
Yes.
So, welcome, Nick Alexander. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
I am a comedian, actor, writer, entertainer. I'm from New York originally. I moved out here about like 5 years ago. I primarily do stand-up comedy. So, yeah, man, I've been in the game about 10 plus years and just, making it happen. Me and Will, we worked together. I had a comedy group, troupe, whatever you call it. We did improv and sketch. We went by the name of Cornbread Kitchen.
Hey,
We had
shout
a
out to
really,
Cornbread.
really
nice.
good once a month show in at the UCB, which is a space. The Upright Citizens Brigade. They do mostly improv and sketch, and we had a really poppin' show for a couple years called the Black Twitter Show.
Black Twitter Show
And Will was a part of Cornbread Kitchen for a little bit. We kind of like stopped shop after the pandemic. I don't know if the group will ever come back, but we all doing our own
It
thing
was a
right
struggle,
now.
yeah,
But
it
it
was
was
a
it was a really fun time, especially just moving out to LA and looking for a thing to get into, a sense of community. But yeah, right. I've been just back on my stand up and just working on projects and stuff. We did a short together early in the summer.
Oh, yeah, we
a
did.
comedy
Yep,
short
that was funny.
called it Stacking.
Stacking, yeah.
Oh,
It's
that's
about
funny.
how niggas play with different Uno rules
Yeah.
and how the game could just go sideways.
Right.
So
Real sideways.
it was a really funny project. Will was happy enough to.
Hilarious.
A little bit. The consequences wasn't as
The
bad.
Yeah, I was
wasn't
gonna
as
say,
bad,
It was yeah.
not
So
as bad.
Right.
and that was so
You
just,
can lose and still live.
You could, yeah.
just staying creative. I got my comedy album coming out at the end of the year. I don't have a release. I don't have a date official, but that's just things I got in the works, and I'm just doing a lot of stand up and potting now. I'm back in my podcast bag. So
Hey,
thanks for
there
having
we
me.
go.
Yes.
Of course.
Nick.
Brother coming in from New York. Yeah, me and Nick
Yeah.
actually met. So when we were talking about in the last show, Alicia and I met doing this radio show back in the day called Gen U.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's actually how
Way back.
Nick and I met too. Nick,
Oh, really?
I
Nick
was a guest
came
on
and
Gen U.
he was a guest on the
Nice.
show. He came through a few times.
There was like 9 people that day.
Yo,
I was about
that's
to
the thing.
say, there
Like,
must've been a
hey,
lot.
Nick finally get his shine.
right.
Nick came in and was like, "All right, so what am I talking about?" It's like we'll get in line with the rest of the guests.
Right.
Because the guy who ran our last show, he would have like he had backup guests just in case people didn't show up, but then they all show up, so we got like 6 people in there. We had
Try to
more,
cram
we
them
had
in.
more guests than hosts.
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
I was like, "Is this your entourage? Is this the real like?"
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah,
See, and I just met Nick. What?
A couple weeks ago, we went hiking.
Right.
A few
yeah.
weeks back.
That was an
Months ago,
experience.
months ago. It was
I made it, y'all.
hey, she made it.
It-
Hey,
it's tough. It's just as tough
Hey.
for both of us to get
Hey,
on
look.
a hike. Like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I have a baby now,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, like I'll be like, all right, I got up early 9 something. I could maybe hike with Will, and then my girl goes, I need you to watch the baby for an hour. So it's like, ah. And
Yeah.
I hate to flake on Will, man, because I'm committed. I really want to commit to
Committed.
getting in shape and working out. But I have the half / best excuse in the world / real excuse in the world of
Baby.
Right.
baby. So it's just.
I'm gonna start recording the people pushing their strollers up running and be like, "Hey, Nick."
I just remember you guys got past the steps, and I turned around and said, "I gotta go past this
Right.
area, right?"
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. If running had Squid Game rules, Alicia.
It did, yo. The Squid Game was running.
I haven't had a
been
bad
dead,
hike
yo.
with Will yet. There has we've done different variations of running, like in different spots, and I've been surprised that for somebody who's not as active as Will, I've been able to do okay at least that day.
You hang.
I feel like there's gonna be one day where I'm gonna crash and burn, so I don't want to ruin my luck. But I've been doing okay so far when I can make it out.
Yeah.
There's some
So
wild
thank you
hikes.
for keeping inviting me, Will. I'm gonna get there soon.
There's some wild hikes
You
out
did
there.
it.
There's one hike that I went on that I would never take you guys on because somebody fooled me. So basically, somebody was having a birthday party and they were like, "Hey, it's my birthday. I want to get a nice hike to get the day started, and then we're all gonna go out to eat." I said, "Bet, we'll go hike tomorrow." I'm thinking like hit like a Runyon Canyon, nice little 30-minute, 1 hour hike. She's like, "We're gonna go to this place called Inspiration Point." I'm like, "Okay, I ain't never been there. Whatever." We've been walking for 2.5 hours. We've been walking for like 2 hours, and like we're like, they're like, "Oh, okay, we're halfway to the top." I said, "Halfway to." I'm looking at the clock. And I'm like, and everybody's making a firm decision. Should we keep going up or not? A couple people were like, "Yeah, we should do it." I got my backpack. If they had their food and water, I was like, I didn't bring all none of that, but I ain't no bitch. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, if we're gonna do that, I'm with it, bro. When we got to the top. It would I was like, we have to go back down. We were, Kim and I ran out of water. We actually asked somebody on the hike, can y'all just give us a sip?
Swallow to get through.
Our fingers were getting swollen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, literally, it took us 7.5 hours.
Oh my God.
And
it wasn't like cold outside either. She was like,
nobody
smooth,
prepped you. Like they didn't say it's gonna be a 7 hour. You're gonna spend your day with us.
They didn't.
That's whack.
Because you know what I'm saying, like we would have ate for like running, you can get by, have some water, some food, get by and be cool. Like this, you need a full meal. Like afterwards, we went to a buffet, so I definitely replenished. But
now, was everybody in shape that
no.
Have you spoke to them since?
Everybody, no,
you cut them off?
No.
Have you spoke to them?
I mean, like one of them, one of the girls is cool. Like we still cool. I can't talk to the rest of the group. They lied to me.
Damn. I wouldn't talk to them anymore. Like you trying to hike? Fuck you. Like, can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good.
7.5 hours.
7.5 hours.
7 hours of my life. I'm never
bare
getting
minimal
back.
water or food.
Yeah,
come on now.
That's a lot.
You gotta let warm people.
Even for Hollywood.
Yeah,
even for Hollywood hiking,
right?
It's a little much.
Right.
Even
for the athlete enthusiasts. Athletes don't do that.
Yeah, that's too much. That's way too
much.
But
yeah, let's go ahead and touch it back. So we were talking about Nick. We were talking about comedy. So let's go ahead and get into the comedy thing. I know a lot of you guys have probably seen the new Chappelle special.
Yeah.
What y'all think about it?
I thought it was good.
You thought it was good?
I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was bad. I think it's Dave, so you're gonna get something.
I thought the Chappelle show, or the Chappelle show, I thought the Chappelle was funny. Like, Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians. Like, his jokes were hidden. I didn't see anything that would trigger, that type of, impact or people getting backlash, excuse me. So.
And he's a comedian.
Well, okay, so I was just waiting to hear everything you had to say, like if you had any specific things you're going to get into. And it's okay if it's just, you liked it or you didn't.
Yeah.
Generally, I watched it twice, and I think it was, here's the thing with Dave, right? You're only grading Dave against his old specials, and he's in such a place because he's arguably bar for bar, joke for joke, the best comic in the world.
Right.
So it's like the world is consuming Dave, right? And in this special, he's in such a bag creatively where he can basically talk about and reference his other specials, his past specials, because in this special he covered sort of the same topics and subject matters that he has in the past ones that drew controversy, specifically with the bit about the trans community and the LGBTQT, all the other letters. Sorry, I don't know them by heart,
LMNOP, LBGTQ. Even
in my
Dave
family,
Chappelle
we say it's probably not the right thing to say with the alphabet community. Because at this point they got the letters.
Right.
So he's referencing past specials and he's making light of it. He obviously has newer things to address. He says this is the last time I want to talk about y'all and then I'm done.
Right.
And he has great thematic points and points to empathy and loving the human person, which should supersede who you color, race, whatever. And what he tries to state, that my overall point is that I'm jealous as a black person that your struggle is highlighted over ours.
Right.
And,
no,
you have a right to say you don't like things, and then the world kind of works for you, to a degree. And like the last special he did where he talked about the community was controversial, and so you know that that's gonna happen. It's like Chappelle he can't put anything out without a little bit of controversy. That's just how the world is gonna work, how the internet's gonna work. They're gonna rate to find something, and then now we're at the point where there's Netflix employees, the trans employees at Netflix are threatening to strike or not show up to work because the CEO basically said, "Hey, we stand with Dave." Which, you know, that's smart because, hey, first of all, you paid him like over 60 million.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you better believe in that product that you're paying. Yeah. And at this point, too, it's like, and like Dave said in his set several times, I never said anything that's actually offensive if you really listen and take into what I'm saying.
That's what I took
So
from
people also have to like code and kind of read through it. Like, is he doing that to be like a smart aleck? Because, you know, Dave is also sarcastic. Like, sometimes you're trying to read people. And I think Dave's intention has always been, you know, he's a great human being. He really cares about people. So if you know him personally or you know of him personally, you shouldn't let what he's been doing in his act offend you so much that it's like whatever, because he's not incite. Like, you know, these days comedians have to talk with like a preface, like, I'm not trying to incite hate here or incite anything violent. That's never been in his act at all.
Right, but he has to announce it.
Yeah, but I almost felt, honestly, it was uninspired. And what I mean by uninspired, I mean like, I was hoping he would cover new subjects. So I'm kind of watching it like, oh, you talking about them again? Like, I want to hear you talk about different stuff. But then when he brought in that last story about his trans friend who was a comic who then, you know, who defended him and then killed himself, and then he brought it back to his whole point to sum everything up, it was like, this guy's brilliant. He's in the 1% of the comedians that's out here. He's in his own lane. Is masterful, and it's like, Dave is, you know, a guy. The last 15 years, he's been getting on stage everywhere. Like, he loves the stage. He'll go on 2 hours, 3 hours, whether he's in the Comedy Store or in the Cellar in New York. He'll stay on forever and work out.
The jokes are hitting or not.
And he's also more long form now. So as a long form storyteller comic, in a way, he can't make himself do like short punchy jokes. One, because he doesn't have to. He can take his time and expect people to just go with the journey.
He's not a new comic.
He's not a new. He's been doing it 30 years,
no matter what. Yeah,
and he also has the most freedoms that comics don't have, like, which is to stay on stage as long as you want to get your points out and work your stuff through. So, with Dave, it's always about, okay, I gotta go for the ride and see where it lands, and he landed it. I think Sticks and Stones, to me, maybe Age of Spin, you know, Kill Him Softly. Those are still like my favorites of his, but this one was great too.
I think for me, Kill Him Softly was big for his time.
But this is grown man Dave versus like young Dave, which is like, you know, that's a great thing to compare as well.
Now, as a comedian, do you stay away from jokes that are trans or LGBTQT, or how do you like do it and see your audience?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not gonna say I stay away from like trans topics or whatever like that. It just doesn't appeal to me. Like, I'm a comic. I'm more so. I have a little bit of observation stuff in my set, but I mostly talk about myself. I make fun of myself. Now I have a family to make. You know, with my child, I have my daughter. I can make fun of on set. In my set, my girlfriend or whatever like that. So I'm more of the. And I'm not saying I'm this kind of comic, but I'm saying I skew more personal. Dave doesn't really do that. Dave gives you a little bit about his personal stuff, about some, but he doesn't really dig at himself and make light of his pain in a certain thing. He talks about the world and makes light of other people's pain and pain amongst communities and things like that. So it's just that, like, I haven't seen anything about trans people that feel like, oh, I can make a joke about them or there's something funny. It just doesn't appeal to me the same way. Dave is fascinated with those subjects, those people, how the you know, race relations and how the world, you know, like I said, they'll try to cancel the baby because of what he did at a concert,
when he
and ignore the fact that he killed somebody and got away with it, like,
So
that stuff is that's Dave's bag. I don't break down, you know, people that way.
He even said that. He said it's okay to kill a nigga. He said, but God forbid if you say anything bad about the gay community, like hurt somebody's feelings.
So, you know, I mean, when I started, I had like stupid like gay jokes or whatever like that. Like, it wasn't even gay. It was just like it was a horrible joke. It was just like I got you know, a thug homie. You know, he came out of jail, but he be sometimes too make me too uncomfortable with how he joked with me, right? So like hanging around, and he'll tell me, man, shut up before I lick your ass. Like, it's just,
What?
it's like, you know, but you know, that's not offensive or anything like that. It's just a simple, stupid joke.
Yeah,
but
that
like,
would throw me off.
yeah,
I'm like,
it's
what?
like, man, shut up before I tickle your booty hole.
Oh,
Like, you know. Yeah, but
Right.
yeah, it's just, but everybody, you know, has their different ways how they go about doing their stand-up. Some people are observational. Some like to just write one-liner jokes. Some love to tell stories. Some love to just make fun of themselves. Some love to just,
angry
you know,
comics. You got
yeah, it's just so many different
plethora.
ways of comedy you can do on stage. So yeah,
yeah. And I think with Dave touching on those topics, he tries to dig into like political stuff.
yeah,
And try to
definitely.
get people, you know, asking certain questions.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what he
it's-
likes to do.
But with him, people are like looking. It's like keyword, like they're not even listening to a stand-up. Like people in that community, they're like nothing. He said transgender. Okay, what is he talking about? We don't care what he said.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the matter that he brought it up. So now we're gonna test. You know, we're gonna do what we do.
And he just
We listen
and he
to that
shared
part.
intimate and you know and I just said too that he doesn't really dig. In my opinion, he doesn't dig personally, but he actually shared a really intimate story about a comic he was friendly with who actually impacted his life, and
Right.
that is super personal. You know, the fact that he considered her a friend or him or whatever, him a friend.
Yeah.
That person, they a friend,
They,
and you know they had experiences together, and he offered to just be there for them as a source of support. Then when his special came out, she defended him, and then she got hit with the internet just bug and people commenting whatever, and then unfortunately she took a life by way of suicide, which is a very tough, harsh subject. So and him pointing a light to him having a friend, and it's not that the person's going like, oh well, I have a trans friend so I can make fun of people. It's not like when you ask white people how many black friends you have, it's like, well, I have like 2 black friends. Like so it doesn't absolve you, but he was sharing yeah, Dave loves humans, man. So
That part.
he's not trying to hurt nobody.
He really isn't. And I wish they would kind of just like let it go. And like Netflix already knew the deal. They're like, well, I understand what y'all got going on in the company, but we paid him $60 million. He's generating more money,
angry,
so
Netflix wins either way.
Yeah.
Whether you watch it because you don't like him, or you love him, or you want to,
or you want to see it,
or you want to write a clickbait article, it
Right.
don't matter. Netflix is still pocketing. So
Dave Chappelle, any network.
but it's good that the CEO publicly stood out and said we got to stand with him, because this is now like emphasizing how much comedians and the people that back comedians have to hold the line, so that you can keep taking chances and keep trying to push the envelope with your stand-up. So
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Now, have you guys watched any other shows?
She don't want no parts.
Before you guys off the topic, did you guys see that the Netflix employees were planning to walk out?
Yeah, I mentioned that.
You mentioned that, yeah. We saw that.
Thanks, Nick.
Do you think they're actually going to do it though? And how many trans employees do you think they have?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, and it depends on
If
what
it's
department.
2 of them.
Like if it's an editor,
Right,
I'd
they
be
said
kind of like,
they
damn,
said
my
they,
best editor, shit, I need to get her
They
back.
said they
like,
suspended 3 people. Was like 3
I give
people?
you-
I saw
Out
that
of the
too.
entire company, Netflix?
I bet you if you Netflix, you just go, hey, you want $10,000 raise? Let's see how many people strike next week.
Yeah.
Right.
Offer them a little bump.
Yeah, I wonder how many employees that actually affects.
I mean, who knows? That's
I mean, that'd be a curious
That's
thing.
interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of I don't know.
I mean,
so.
they got. I'm sure they got some buildings around the world now.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, they definitely do. The amount of buildings they even got
But I'm
here.
sure
yeah.
the CEO not really backing them up and backing up Dave still means that there might not be a lot of employees. So
It is.
might be kind of.
They're gonna capitalize on it, even if it's not
Yeah.
even like a thing, like the transgender, the thing or whatever. They're like upset, or some people are
brings
upset.
more
But it
eyeballs
brings
to the
more eyeballs to
platform.
Netflix, to the platform, which is what they
Because
ultimately
even
want.
people
Like,
who may not have wanted to watch it are like, let me see what's going on here,
right.
and they're gonna check it out.
Well,
It brings more people.
the official statement from Netflix is they encouraged all employees to disagree openly. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
yeah, you can agree, disagree, but it's
disagree or
comedy at the end of the
agree,
day.
you
It's
know.
like
Right.
what are you
Shout out
gonna
to
do?
Netflix.
You can't cancel Chappelle, and that's the
Yeah.
beautiful thing where he's at in his career. He's not a guy who's actively doing film and television projects every year. He just finally decided to say, hey, you know what? I'll let you guys license out my specials, you know,
Yeah.
so you can watch me. People can consume my stand up, but I don't do anything else. I just perform and I go live in my town in Yellow Springs, Ohio, and I chill whenever
A
I
place where
feel
don't
like.
nobody
right?
be at. Like,
So you know that's the thing
That's
too. It's
wild.
like you can't. Yeah, Dave's still gonna sell out Radio City
oh,
or
absolutely.
whatever
He did
1,000 seats
Hollywood
arena.
Bowl.
He did the bowl.
Yeah.
Did you
sold
He
think
out.
just did
the,
that whole bowl, yeah.
I, even though I think Dave's a genius.
What's up?
So I thought the setup was genius how he set the whole stand up, but I felt like if anything, people had something to complain about. It would be the pastor joke. Was kind of.
Oh, that joke was wild.
Which one?
The pastor joke.
first
He
joke.
was talking about.
I opened up with.
pastor,
Oh, pastor molesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Or I mean, it's pretty
That
racist.
was
He came in his
funny.
face.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You've heard. You've not. And he didn't. You know, I'm not saying he definitely didn't steal or anything like that. But you've heard comedians make jokes about pastors and
Well, I
molesting
would-
kids.
they
and
do
stuff.
it all
Right.
the
I would
time,
just think
yeah.
that I would think that we would be more sensitive about that than
Nah,
an adult
they open
situation.
season.
No,
And
they were
that's
like, the
hilarious.
hell with the kids, with the transgender community. Like,
Right. They stopped it right there.
Granted, I'm not a white person, but if I was white, the
Yeah,
dirt
we
on
need
the
the
feet.
priest community.
The
to,
dirt on-
man.
The priest
Right.
community.
That
If
was
you guys
funny.
are offended by Chappelle's
Even I
special,
don't
y'all
care
need
what-
to start picketing
You know,
Netflix as
or,
well.
or at least
Right.
white women who strip, because the dirty feet stripper
Oh,
thing,
that was, yeah.
that
dirty-
was funny.
dirty feet.
But if I
strippers.
was white, I'd have been like,
No
hey,
Name
wait a
Podcast.
minute.
We're also calling out
feet.
all the white women with dirty feet who felt
Right.
offended. Y'all
Right.
need to step up for
Yeah,
y'all
say
community
something.
as well.
Yeah.
And if
Come
you
on,
You're
man.
not washing your feet, my Susies and my
Right.
Cindy Lou's out there in the Midwest.
Yeah,
out there
this-
doing,
Get together and
they done got clever with it. They ain't doing blackface no more. They're doing black feet.
But I
Right.
wonder what's striking. Like, if you're gonna strike from that, does that mean you finally wash your feet? Like, I don't.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
Hilarious.
What happened?
My feet are clean now.
Right.
How you like me now?
How you like me now? So,
Yeah.
well, thank God.
Shout out to
actually.
Dave.
Right, actually, I
Step up.
appreciate what you did.
Shout out to Dave.
Right.
I can put lotion on your toes now and not, a hand sanitizer.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
Yeah.
did you guys ever finish Squid Game?
I did watch.
Both
I
you
did finish Squid
guys?
Games.
So okay,
Squid Game?
You didn't finish it. I could tell.
yeah, no, I'm
Hilarious.
on the last episode. I'm on
You
the
didn't even
last
get that laugh.
episode.
We know.
I'm on the last episode.
How many minutes left? Oh, you ain't even started.
No, I'm like halfway in.
Oh, okay.
Like they didn't. Well, I was about to say this.
Oh, you can say it
Yeah,
now.
Spoiler, it's been out.
Yeah, I
If
think
you
everybody
ain't watched
watched it.
That's on you.
No, but yeah, I
Yeah,
just
it's
watched
been
them.
out.
I watched them getting their little scuffle and all that.
Okay.
And they're about to so I'm watching it.
Yeah,
But
I love it. It was a great show that made me, think about society, how humans are tested, how greed corrupts.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just people will do anything to cut someone out if they see an opportunity, and
Mhm.
also money doesn't always solve your problems.
It doesn't.
It'll solve my
What if,
problems, but it didn't solve his
It
problems.
didn't. No.
What if they tried to go on strike and Netflix is like, all right, now entering Squid Games
to the trans employees.
to the company, not just to anybody that try to walk out.
I try to walk out. That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really dug the themes of it, and what I love too
Mhm.
is seeing how the guy, the filmmaker, I forgot how to say his name, so I'm not gonna
Yeah,
try.
the beast who put 10 years
yeah.
into
10
that.
years,
Yeah.
he was trying to get that project off the ground, and he kept getting turned down by studios and
Yeah.
networks, and he finally worked it out. I mean, and he stayed busy.
hmm
Keep in mind, artists, he didn't get stuck to one project and didn't do shit else. He kept working. He just couldn't get that one
Couldn't
off the
get
ground.
that
Right.
one, yeah.
Which is important because sometimes I
what you
think
gotta
as
keep
artists we
doing.
get stuck figuring out that there's this one thing. You gotta still
gonna be
work
my
on other
ticket.
stuff in the meanwhile,
Yeah.
but don't have to
Keep
mean
it going.
you
'Cause
ain't
you
gotta
really-
abandon that.
Because
to
you
the
don't
fact
really
that
know
you
what's
never
gonna pop
abandoned
off for you.
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
So,
I
and
thought that was cool. That
great
he was
persistent
able
story.
to
Yeah.
bring it back
Yeah.
and get it signed at the right time.
Yeah. It was
And that's
great-
usually when
great
everything
timing.
unfolds too, because
Mhm.
like me and him were just kind of having a conversation about like the sketch world, for example, like
Yeah.
creating sketch comedy like via social
Mhm.
media. Like you may create some good content, like yo, this is funny. I believe everybody's gonna like it, and people may
Mhm.
see it, but they kind of like overlook it.
Mhm.
And then you put some like slapstick comedy or some dumb shit, and it goes viral.
Yeah,
And you're
man.
like, what? But
Oh,
once
yeah.
that stuff goes viral, you're like, okay, cool. Now let me go ahead and bring that back in. Okay, they didn't catch it again. Keep putting out that dumb shit.
You just recycle.
Like,
you,
you
can
recycle
you can
it.
recycle it
Keep
and
back,
try.
you don't
Keep
And if you're,
recycling
it.
yeah, like Will's very consistent with
Mhm.
with sketches on social media, and yeah, he told me, he's shown me. I had this sketch. In my opinion, I didn't feel like it was my funniest, but it was something easy that I did, and it got
Mhm.
so much more hits than anything I've ever done with that. I felt took more creative energy out of. And
Right.
Yeah.
the thing is with social media is like you just never know what's gonna pop. And
You don't.
what I've
Yeah.
been told from like a lot of guys who do skits online and stuff like that, and I
Uh-huh.
dabble a little bit. I'm not as consistent, but they say don't ever think about skits that'll hit and go viral. You just gotta
Right.
keep cranking them out, and
Right.
what works will surprise you, because you'll always be like, this one. You
Yeah.
know, you'll
Out of
never
all
be the
them.
one that
Nah,
you think. So
'cause-
don't even operate thinking like,
Because
this
that
is
was
gonna
my
be the one.
process.
Like, that
That was
one?
my process starting out. I was always like, I feel like this one's gonna be the one to go viral. I feel like this one, and
Yeah.
sometimes it would, sometimes it
Yeah.
wouldn't. Sometimes I'm like, man, this shit was stupid. Like I would just, like for example, one of my most viral sketches was a sketch that we didn't even plan to shoot. We showed up, we had to shoot another sketch, and I had an idea that was funny in my head. I said, hey, while we're waiting for that person to get here, let's just shoot this quick bit.
Right.
Shot the quick bit, posted it, and then all of a sudden the next day, my going out the roof, I'm like, really?
Just one.
That
Like, I mean, like, it was funny, but it wasn't. I didn't even think it was that funny.
funny.
I didn't even think it was funny. I just did it for something to post. Like,
Yeah.
so I was
You
like,
just
this is
never know.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's silly. I've been, playing with TikTok and that kind of thing. We talked about that too. Like I had
Yeah.
a skit. I've been in my skits or whatever, and the one bit that I do that I share that didn't have me in it, it had another comedian. She is very popular online. I used her to cut up a caption joke, like something, where it's like when something happens,
Yeah.
and she says something from a podcast that she did, and that got more hits than anything that I posted on my TikTok. It got like
Oh, wow.
30,000.
Dang.
There's different things. My cousin who's here, he's always telling me about the algorithms and how you have to like learn how to play with them.
Oh yeah.
And I have to embrace that sometimes there is just an algorithm thing, and you got
algorithm, and they shift so much
And
too.
they
usually pretty women
Yeah.
involved with something sexual, unfortunately, will
Oh,
get
yeah.
more
Get a
attention
hit.
than something that's
Right.
not the case.
I'm gonna tune in. No, I'm playing.
I mean, it just is like I'm not. Yeah.
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 Even that.
Was that okay?
Get a
I'm sorry.
hit.
I don't.
Have you guys been seeing the
Okay, you agree? Okay.
touching back with the
That-
sketch world or whatever? Have you guys seen some of the Squid Game sketches that've been going out? Like
Oh,
all,
yeah.
because people have been posting them. I know Halloween
I
about to
think
be
the red
lit.
light, green light machine thing with the
Yeah.
eyes.
Yes.
There's always a good game around her with the eyes. I forget.
Yeah.
What's the funniest thing you've seen?
I don't know about the funniest, but the sickest. Well, it wasn't really sick anyways. Like, remember they had to lick the cookie?
Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Everybody was in there
Oh,
trying to lick
yeah.
that cookie or whatever, and then like everybody was like going their separate ways. And he was like, the time was about to hit, and he was trying to figure out what the next game was. And then the girl behind him with the little square was like, "If you lick me, I'll tell you what the next game is."
It was a
And then they actually
quickie.
showed him going like, and she goes, "Whew, thank
I
you."
saw that one. That was
I don't know
funny.
what that game is though. It might be Battleship. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, there was
He's like,
another.
"Lick that
There was another one where it's another one from the licking cookie bit, and
Yeah.
like she's just licking the cookie mad sexually, and the other dudes lose focus and break
Oh,
the
yeah.
cookie.
Oh yeah. I
broke
seen
the
that one
cookie.
because everybody's like looking at like how he did. And then one girl, she was like going
Uh-huh,
above and beyond.
yeah.
Like she should be on Freaky Friday tomorrow, whoever you are.
They have one where the cookie
Oh,
shape is
man.
a vagina.
Oh, hilarious.
So I'm saying.
Oh,
is
that's
funny.
funny.
Here's
They be
the
having some funny
timing of
ones.
Squid Games, the way I don't know if he's
Right.
like, and I hope he's cashing out, or he's
Uh-huh.
his name is attached to the merch and all this stuff because they are
Man,
making a killing during this Halloween season for Squid Games.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
them
The
suits
the
and
timing
everything.
was impeccable.
The cosplay gonna be crazy
Oh,
this
right?
year.
You gonna have Incredibles
Yeah.
versus Squid Games.
That's gonna be the two. That's your
And
the
even
two
some of
contenders.
the actors got a few of them. I was telling William had like, let's say 30,000 followers
Mm.
or 300,000 followers. Next thing you know, they're like 13 million.
13
The
million.
actors from the show blew up
Yeah.
like that. Man.
Like
Like,
the
blew
one
up
girl who
13
passed away
million.
like in
with the rib.
yeah, the
yeah,
rib.
Yeah.
She went up like 13-something million
13.2
followers, and on top of
million.
that, she's like the face of Louis Vuitton now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh? I was like,
Overnight
that is
success.
Like,
that is a
yeah.
come up.
But you know what's going to happen, unfortunately, because America is not creative and what we do is just follow trends. America's going to try to look for like a Squid Game light type
Oh,
of
yeah.
show. They're going to look to try and green light that. It's never going to be as dope as Squid Games
It
because
can't.
Squid Games is something
Yeah.
organic that was crafted.
We hadn't seen that.
that was passionate.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
hadn't seen a show that kind of worked like that. Some people said it had a little bit elements of Hunger Games
Mm-hmm. I
and,
can see a little bit of
and
that.
some salt.
Yeah.
Some
Mhm.
salt is like
Saw,
a little
Hunger
mixture.
Games.
Yeah.
But
And the Purge.
and the Purge,
And the
yeah.
Purge, for
Purge,
sure.
yeah, that
Purge
was
for
that was
sure.
That's a good.
it's a
that's
form
good
of that.
was
method.
It's a form of
definitely-
that.
Yeah.
But Squid Games
Mhm.
was such a own unique story because it followed a journey of a few people and just how they,
Why they
brought to the
joined it.
island,
Why they
the
joined,
reasonings,
yeah. Why they need to be there.
the results and the payoffs and
What you're willing to do for
you're
success.
willing-
Yeah, the
Like, are you
Purge
willing-
usually they fall under Hunger Games. They kind of fall under the superhero thing. Squid
But
Games is
then
not
it
very
also-
superhero like.
It also
Yeah.
touched in other stuff too,
Oh yeah.
like the gambling, and then they bring in the
Gambling.
Oh, yeah.
American people,
yeah. The
and then
Oh, addiction.
the organ doning,
the entitled
the
uh,
organ
Addiction,
I should say
yeah, the
organ
the
doning, but
VIPs.
the organs.
yeah, the organs.
The VIPs
Selling.
and how they oversee and can do whatever
organ-
they want.
yeah,
Can be
organ
Illuminati.
harvesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So
hoping
it
that cop
was
wouldn't.
everything that.
wouldn't suck off that nasty white man. I was like, he's got to. It's got.
Oh
No,
yeah,
bro.
that.
Bro, when he did it, I was like, he can't do that,
You're
fam.
not
He
gonna
can't.
give it to him.
My man
was-
said
I
satisfied
was
me in
like,
5
no.
minutes.
5 minutes.
And what's funny is
That
like people
was
laugh
so
at that scene. I'm
gross.
like, that is like a Hollywood thing.
That was
Like-
so.
Yeah. Have you been into a party where somebody tried to like
Have I been
holler
to
at
a
you and like make
They
you
try
do
to get
something?
you.
Hollered at me, yes, and try
They
some
try
shit
to
like
get
that.
you.
Nah.
The casting couch.
And I think people who like know me would know better. Like, it's like, I be chilling, I'm cool, I'm a nice guy, but I fight.
Well, boxes. I
Like
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's
Try
not even to like sound like crazy, but like if you try something crazy, like I will fight you. Like
Fight you.
Yeah.
Not dangling any carrots in front of you, sir.
Right.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
exactly.
Yeah, Squid Games was great. All right, I don't know.
Oh,
if
yeah,
they
I
gonna do,
enjoyed
are
it.
they gonna do a second season?
They're talking about it.
They left
said-
it on a
Talking about it,
cliffhanger.
yeah.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah.
said Squid Games too. I mean, we'll see what
I mean,
happens.
I'm sure they're gonna like offer homie a shit ton of money to do it.
To
I think
do
Oh, yeah.
he'll do it. He'll take his time, but I think he'll do it. I
He
think
probably,
well,
he probably already got it packaged and ready to be delivered.
We saw the dude at the end. He's
With the
going
red
back.
hair?
Yeah.
with his Korean K-pop.
I
Yeah,
didn't see
the
it. I didn't see it.
K-pop.
I didn't see it all the way to the end yet.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did. Oh,
I told you I'm
sorry.
like
Should've-
halfway
should've
into the last
finished
it.
episode. You told me the last bit.
You knew you should have.
It's like, by the way, so in 15 minutes you're gonna
so
see this.
you gonna see that part, yeah.
Right.
Homie just gets a
Yeah.
K-pop haircut. We're not gonna say anything else.
A K-pop haircut.
Yeah, it
Hey
was
man, K-pop's
K-pop
in. I
for
was wondering why
sure.
BDS was so big, and now I'm seeing like what they doing over in Korea. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
Korea
Yeah,
over
you know,
there
it's
popping
funny.
like.
I was a couple filmmakers, friends of mine out here. They were telling. We had a conversation like last year, and he was saying how the best source of content comes from Korean filmmakers. He says they're the best like writers.
They become.
Did you
real,
get- did-
yeah.
I mean-
Their creativity is amazing,
and the
because
cinematography.
yeah, and they're not driven by Hollywood box
Mhm.
office pressure. They get to do
They put what they
more
want.
simple stuff, and you know,
Yeah.
and
I didn't even get to
over
fully
there.
watch it, but obviously it won a ton of awards. Parasite. That was a
I have to
that was
see
another
Parasite.
Korean
That won an
film.
Oscar
Yeah,
Academy
it won
Film.
best
a
film.
Korean.
Won everything, yeah.
So I was like, anytime I go see a best film, I try to go back and watch it. I still haven't
Yeah.
touched that one yet because of the subtitles.
If I'm Korean, I'm
Yeah.
definitely flexing my chest out here in these Hollywood.
Oh,
streets.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right, and Squid Game is gonna open up the door too, especially with everything going on.
Oh yeah.
They were like, we have to bring it in,
Yeah.
especially with all like the the Asian issues that were happening throughout the country. So
Shout out to
Most-
Squid Games.
shout out to Squid Games, yeah, for sure.
And the same director from Parasite, he did Snowpiercer, the
Mm.
movie, and that
Mm.
was really good.
Yeah.
With Chris
Okay.
Evans.
Like 2 for 2.
Yeah.
2 for 2, you making it
It
work.
was very good.
I know this may not be like the political agenda, but Halloween Kills comes out tomorrow. I don't know if anybody's
it?
Michael Myers fan.
Yeah.
Michael
I
Myers?
Can't wait to see it.
What's-
Halloween.
I'm not a Halloween
Kills.
person. Y'all really? You still into Myers? Like he still
yeah.
does it for you?
Yeah. Like
It's like one of them.
I got
It's just
into
like one of
it.
them things. Like for example, if a Chucky movie came out tomorrow, I would go watch it. It's probably
You
gonna be
still
trash.
see Chucky?
It's
Oh
probably
my
gonna be
God.
trash, but I'm gonna
Halloween.
go see it.
I remember I saw Child's Play, the one where he's in the military.
Oh, the third one.
And then I saw
man,
Chucky
no.
and Meets His Bride when he was with the
Man,
chick, and they was when they had the smashing and they had sex. I was like, yo, whoever wrote this, man, that's the biggest like.
The Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, the Bride of Chucky. With,
Yeah.
What's her name? What was the girl's actress who voiced her?
oh, Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah,
The fact that you just we're gonna have these dolls smash, y'all.
right.
Yeah.
And this is gonna try to make this like a love scene and shit.
They made a
and-
love scene. They was talking about. She's like, "You gonna put a rubber on?" He was like, "I'm all rubber, baby."
all rubber.
That was funny. Yeah.
And they got that bitch
was
pregnant.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did. Oh my God, she did get pregnant and had a Chucky baby. Right?
Of course, they had to
Yeah.
keep the movie going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you?
He
I
said
didn't
a
see
key was a
Candyman. Did you
Chucky.
guys see Candyman? How was Candyman?
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't
see
see it, but Nick
Candyman.
did. Nick saw
Nick
it.
saw it. He said it
It
was
was
cool.
alright.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
Nick saw it.
anticipation for it,
It's,
especially the black female director, and you know,
that's why I wanted to go see it.
It's
So I
for it.
just
It's hard for me to judge horror films, obviously, because I'm grown.
based on the first Candyman.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
we
I'm
were
grown.
talking about
so,
that,
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
so I
Yeah.
don't know.
You ain't
Films don't
scared.
get
You
you
ain't
to-
scared.
I think it was well written.
Okay,
I think the
Brick in the
acting was
building, Brick
great.
Jackson.
The acting was great. It wasn't a letdown by any means. So
got you.
I don't know. I would
Okay.
love to ask a kid who's never seen the original Candyman.
Yeah,
What did they
I
think
mean
of the
that's
concept
what
of
it
the
is.
kid,
that
Right?
would be interesting.
Horror films are designed for
Yeah.
kids, teenagers.
Right.
Yeah.
But we adults just kind of stay with them
Man.
and still watch for whatever reason.
That's like my go-to horror
Horror
movie
film?
comedy.
What was your
Yeah.
kid like horror film that like scared you?
The one that scared me the most?
Yeah.
Well, if anybody has seen the new 50 Cent post with Lil Kim, is that Leprechaun.
Yo.
The
Oh,
original
that's
Leprechaun?
I ain't gonna lie to you, like I ain't
That's
gonna hold
not-
y'all.
The
Like,
Leprechaun?
He shouldn't
Maybe it's because I saw it at such a young age.
He
Leprechaun
shouldn't
came
make
out,
that
and I was
post.
like 3 or 4 years old.
That
Yeah.
post.
So
when I saw it,
imagery
it's
is
like-
everything.
So
That's
it's like,
racist, Will.
There's a dude. No,
That's
it
racist.
was
The
it's like so
leprechaun,
there's a
little
leprechaun.
Kim.
There's this little green creepy like creature
That's
that's my
wrong.
height,
Yeah.
and just got these powers and stuff, and he could pop up from anywhere. I'm looking at my closet. I'm looking at my bed. I'm like,
Right.
yo,
Like that.
Because
Yeah,
that's
I
the
was
thing.
like,
Because
yeah,
depending on how
yeah.
old you are, it does affect the psyche. Like the only
It
time I
does.
kind of get like halfway critical of that kind of shit is like, who's the nigga that got scared of Leprechaun in the Hood on BET? Like whoever that kid is, I'm judging you.
yeah,
Yeah, that was horrible.
yeah.
But for me, it was like Scream. I Know What You Did Last
Scream.
Summer.
'Cause that
Because
shit
I was
really
like
happened.
6, 7.
Yeah, Scream was
I
based on a
think
real,
they're
a real
redoing.
story.
I know.
That was on a real.
No,
that
they
was real?
did.
Yeah. That
They
really
did.
happened?
It's
Oh.
on Amazon. It's trash.
The new Scream.
I couldn't even watch it
No,
because
I
you
know
got
what
I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then they had I Still
Yeah.
Know What You Did Last Summer, which,
Right.
another film where the two black couple die. And then they came out with I Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Wait,
It's
about
on
that.
It's on
What?
Amazon. It's
Who's
on
in
Amazon
that?
right now, huh?
Is
Oh
it
my
Jennifer
God,
Love Hewitt? Is
anybody
she
in
back?
there?
No, Jennifer Love Hewitt was not. It's a whole different cast.
Oh, so it's
Aw.
no,
Whole different
no
group of people.
connection.
So I was
Nothing.
like,
Yeah.
are they about to come back with a prequel?
Right.
I know what you're
Yeah, I
about to
don't
do
like that.
last year. Like,
See, mine was Freddy Krueger.
Which one?
Freddy Krueger's
The
probably my
first one
favorite.
for sure. Because you go to sleep, you can't go to sleep.
Mhm.
He there. You
Yeah.
doze off, he's there.
Freddy Krueger, I
like
actually
he
like.
he just coming in and getting you.
Leprechaun scared me, but I
Oh,
think when
man.
I watched Freddy Krueger, I was a little
Freddy
bit
Krueger.
older.
Do you have a thing against little people?
I don't have a thing against little people.
Not against little people.
No,
but
no, no,
like-
I don't-
no.
No,
So you ain't gonna have me canceled,
no, no.
like.
Because you said that. So look, the first thing that ever scared me, it wasn't a movie. It was a music video.
Which one?
Oh, it was which
Thriller?
one?
It was the Ghetto Boys.
Oh god.
Mine playing tricks on me.
No,
Mine playing tricks on me.
no, I
Fuck
know what he's gonna say.
Me.
Oh no.
What's the song?
Hey, God, you know what I'm talking about.
You
You
know.
just said it.
Oh, mine playing tricks on me.
Yeah.
That's a crazy. That's an intense
Fucked me.
You
was
I
scared?
wouldn't listen, man. I
song.
don't.
Hey, I could see
I'm
that.
grown
If you were
now.
a kid,
Also, yeah,
Oh,
I don't
somebody,
discriminate
Bill?
now, but when I was
Somebody
a
on my
kid,
chat
scary.
said,
He had one eye. He like,
I did not fuck with.
somebody on my live said Pet Cemetery. They
Nah,
said fed me
sorry.
up. People Under the Stairs. I remember People Under the Stairs.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
a scary one
Pet
too.
Cemetery was good. That was kind of creepy. 'Cause
Pet Sematary
there was
was
a lot of
good.
loose
Cemetery
dogs
was
and
too.
shit around my
That's what I'm
neighborhood, so that was a
saying.
little creepy.
And then they come back and then all
Bringing that
creepy and
kid
shit.
back,
Yeah.
baby. The
The Omen
Omen.
was good. But my mind playing tricks. And when I seen Bushwick
Children of the
Bill,
Corn.
nigga,
Did y'all ever see that movie
I feel you on
Sinister?
that. I
Children
feel
of
you
the
on that.
Corn.
It is a hard.
Dog.
They
You
was
ever
in the
see
hospital.
Sinister?
They in straitjackets.
Sinister.
that shit
Sinister was
was
pretty good.
I was
Nah.
scared.
That's one of the movies like I wasn't expecting. I just rented it from Redbox and I was like, this shit actually scary. Like,
Sinister.
yeah.
Children of the Corn.
The Conjuring.
Oh, The
I was
Conjuring?
grown
Oh,
up
that
by
one
then.
was
Conjuring
scary
was good.
too.
I mean, The Conjuring was cool. It didn't like do it for me.
I
Like,
like the new one.
I liked the specifically the Annabelle Creation movie. Annabelle Creation. I
Oh,
thought that
was
one was
scary.
like
The
wild.
dolls,
Yeah.
What
Annabelle.
about The Ring? The first time you seen it?
The Ring?
The first Ring was kind of it was
I
tough,
thought
especially if you saw it
that
in
was kinda
theaters.
That's probably the
scary.
last good scary movie I've seen.
The one where she
in
came out the
theaters.
TV.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. You know what actually scared me in the movie when the horse jumped over the fucking boat.
Oh yeah.
I thought that part was good. That was
Yeah.
crazy. That was a good movie. Shout out to that one.
That was
Yeah, The
scary.
Ring was smooth.
What about
yeah.
Saw?
The first one.
I think I would say the.
I was grown,
you know,
so
I was
it
kinda-
was an interesting film. I mean, I'm always gonna get a little like.
Did anybody
like,
see the new
Yeah.
Spiral with Chris Rock?
I didn't see.
I
I,
seen
Chris
I had
Rock.
no interest.
Chris
in it.
Rock just came out with a new one.
I
It's
seen
a
it.
new Saw movie called
Yeah.
Spiral.
Was it good?
Was it
or
good?
not?
It was decent. It wasn't like a
Were you
good movie,
scared?
like, but
Were you
Yeah.
I was
scared?
petrified.
It's hard to
No.
look at Chris Rock.
I know.
That's what I'm
what
saying.
was like.
I
Were
was
you scared?
petrified. I was just watching Chris
Was he
Rock.
like Chris Rock, like the parody of Chris Rock, like nah, like what's going on? Or was
Nah,
he just more like
he was a
he was
straight. He was
acting?
straight. He wasn't
Hey.
even being like comedic.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, obviously he gonna throw jokes in there. Most any
Yeah.
comic
Yeah,
It's
he's
gonna throw
tried
their
to
little
be.
tidbits
He's tried
in
to take more
serious roles.
acting because he had an arc in Fargo. He did like the season 4 of Fargo
Mhm.
and that. So he's been trying to like get more into
Get
that.
them
Nah.
serious roles.
Nah, he wouldn't CB4 in this one.
Who was MC Gusto?
Right, straight out of low cash.
I love that movie.
Right?
That's a hard movie too.
That
Look,
movie.
Jerry Curl in that go-to.
Man.
Straight out of Low Cash.
So yeah, they got the
Some
Michael
scary
Myers
ones.
joint coming out tomorrow.
I'm about to see that.
Go Get Scared. I'm probably gonna watch that either. I'll probably watch it tomorrow.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. She's still
Yeah.
going at it.
They bring her
Yeah,
back.
they
They
bring
never
her
kill her.
back.
She was in the
'Cause
first
what
movie.
they're gonna do is they say it's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be a direct cut from like the beginning, not all these remakes and stuff.
Mm.
Got you.
So
No, they did. They
Should
did
be
that with the
good.
last one too. What was funny? I don't know if you guys caught the last one, but like ever since I started doing like sketch comedy, I started like finding the funny and noticing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just watching film in general, and there was a scene specifically where like they're in the backyard, right? And the guy's trying to kiss his girl. She's like, don't do that. She hops over this fence. So he's sitting in the fence by himself, and he's like looking around. He sees Michael Myers in the corner. So he's just standing there in the corner. He's like, who are you? And so much like mine, there's a motion sensor light that's going off, right?
Oh wow.
So like Michael Myers walks forward or whatever, and then the sensor goes out, and he goes, "Oh shit! Like what's going on? Where's this guy go?" And then all of a sudden the light comes back on, and he moves, and then the light goes off again, and all of a sudden he's like way on the other side of the thing. I'm like, if this is a motion sensor light,
Right.
how the fuck did he get way over there?
Yeah.
So I was gonna do like a parody of like what people do like in those dark moments in movies, because it's like, what would happen if like,
Roll on the ground and shit.
and then all of a sudden he just
Y'all.
the light come on.
Like you're all.
My folks, when I was a kid, The Exorcist was actually still scary when I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. That shit was pretty scary
That's
too.
probably one of the like top ones.
Them
That
little
might be one of
demonic
the- that might be
green
one
pea
of the
soup.
scariest
Yeah.
movies of all time.
head rolling around.
Spinning around. I
I've
was-
never
Yeah.
seen. I've never actually seen that movie.
The original
Oh, you have
Exorcist.
it? Oh.
Yeah, I think
That was pretty scary.
I mean, I don't think
Especially
it
if
would
you're-
be scared, but
Yeah.
I think it'll be something different.
If you're
like-
religious too.
If you're scared,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
I was like, if
religious
you're a
shit.
religious person, you may have a little bit more impact than you somebody who just watches horror movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because you're gonna be like, man, look, God, the devil, and yeah, it gets a little weird.
Starts making you think like,
Yeah.
oh man, I need to go to church.
Like, what if this happened to my friend? Like, what would I do? Like,
right?
you show up at the house one day and Nick like, well, I'm like,
He's
did we
possessed.
kill this nigga or like,
Right?
Gotta wait it out. Is he gonna
Right.
just,
You gotta wait it out.
taking a shift, doing a shift?
We
Do we? Yeah.
do like the Boondocks, take that belt and they said whip it out of him. He said, get your bitch ass out of there.
Get out
Because
of
black
here.
people's go-to is just beat something out of you. They think that's the solution.
That's what we know.
Beat it out.
That's our kids
Beat
like.
that demon out.
That's how we were as kids.
Now-
Our parents beat us like, I'm gonna beat the no talking in class out of you. Like what?
Yeah.
Like,
Beat that demon out.
You know,
Right.
And if
Like-
if your folks are homophobic, I'm gonna beat this gay out of you. Like you can't.
Oh
right,
Lord.
you can't.
I'm gonna still go back to
Oh.
dick after you.
Right.
You know,
You
still
when I
got-
get out tomorrow. Like you can't stop.
Thanks,
the dick.
Dad. Now I can take more pain. Like,
Right. Yeah, you built this pain tolerance.
Right.
Way to go, father.
appreciate you.
Oh, that's
yeah.
funny.
So,
I watched
yeah.
a movie like that once. It was on like Lifetime or something.
Mm.
Oh,
and
it's
it
on
was
Lifetime.
The kid was supposed
Oh
to be
gosh.
gay, and the parents sent him to this place, and basically they were beating him. They were trying to get him to not be gay, so they were trying to
Man.
beat it out of him. I'm like, what kind of movie is?
I was
this?
like, all they were doing was
It's
training him
not
for
gonna
prison.
work. I was
They were
like,
training him to have hands and
Yeah.
fuck. So he was
Like,
going to
it's
prison.
not
They were
gonna
training this
work.
nigga for prison.
Not
Like,
gonna work. Beat it out of him. Yeah.
sorry.
So now
Don't be
sports.
sorry. You thought you believed in it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to get the narrative here, but yeah, kind of coming off of all the horror things. We got another topic with the
Sports.
Kyrie Irving in sports.
Yeah.
You guys been seeing everything with the COVID vaccines and players playing, not being able to play, freedom of choice. What y'all think about that?
It was good to finally hear, I guess, Kyrie speak, which is the,
Shout
thing
out to
about
Kyrie, by the way. I snuck
Shout-
I snuck
Kyrie.
Okay,
sneaks in here.
shameless plug.
I did. Kyrie Sevens. I had to get him.
Who fucks with you, Kyrie?
Yeah.
I mean,
fucks with you.
he's one
We're
of the.
not gonna have those after he leaves.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna burn him. No, he's one of the
No.
few players in the league who hasn't been vaccinated. So they said today, as of today, 96% of the NBA is vaccinated.
That
The
we know
issue
of.
with Kyrie is because New York State New York City is mandating for, like, if you're gonna, go
Any
into a
indoor
venue,
event,
anything
yeah.
like that, you have to be vaccinated. So it's a conflict for him because he plays in New York. If he played in most other cities or whatever, it wouldn't even be an
Right.
issue. But
If he
because
played
it's
like
New York,
Houston.
right?
he'd be
Because it's,
good.
Florida, whatever, in Arizona. But and he doesn't want to get the vaccine because his stance is for employees that are losing jobs because
I don't
of
feel
the fact that they
pressure.
don't have
Right.
vaccines.
I don't
Not
think you can
because
pressure
of
anybody
anti-vaccine.
to making
So
a
he
decision about their body or what they put into their
you
body.
know,
I mean, that we can have this
some people
conversation.
are applauding Kyrie for his
Yes,
diligence because
absolutely.
it's a stance that he's taking for people, for your human right, your freedom, because a lot of folks have felt like this ever-changing narrative about how the vaccine is mandated on people. It's making it feel like, well, we're not really exercising our right to choose whether we're going to get it or not. We're seeing statistics change. We're seeing the science tell us different things, and you don't know
Right.
what information to believe. So
You don't know the
Kyrie
information.
is, in my opinion, I think he is justified to say, hey, I still don't feel comfortable taking this vaccine, no matter how much you tell me that it's going to do more good than harm.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
And everybody's body's different too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he's going
Yeah.
straight off choice, but everybody's body's hitting different. Some people are taking
don't
it, and everybody's
know.
reacting way different than somebody else's. So you can't force everybody to do this one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
And you can't tell
And I'm
me
not
out of
even
the
against. I'm not against the
90%
vaccine
out of
or for
90
it. Like,
You can't tell me out of the 96% that are vaccinated, allegedly,
right.
that they didn't have a doctor just sign off for them.
you believe
And
that?
You know
So
what I'm saying?
you're
I
in the,
absolutely 100
so you have a lot
believe
of
that
context
a
in the
lot of
sports
people.
world where that kind of that's
I'm
what's
just
happening.
saying it.
I mean, you just-
absolutely
when-
Can
not
you
just
confirm?
sports,
Put it this way.
Not just sports.
Put it this way: when there's
but
money,
I
saying-
absolutely
No.
believe you can go
When there's
into
money
a doctor's
involved.
office, hand them some money,
right?
and be like, "Can you
Easy.
just sign off, put me in the system, but I'm not going to get vaccinated," and then just make it look like
That'd be a
vaccinated.
very big.
mean,
that'd be a very big case if
I
the
could
guys got
see that
exposed for
happening.
faking their vax. Like if that
Right.
were
I
to
know,
happen,
but
It'd be a
They
very,
got money, so
It's
They're
it's not
proving
about
it.
whether they have the money or not, but I'm just saying that's a big
Mhm.
risk with a player. Like if you're doing that to
That's
just
fraudulent behavior.
get
That's
away with playing.
yeah, it's time. Like,
yeah.
Like
You know what I'm
NFL said, yo, straight up, you don't get the vaccine, you're not playing. Like they
Yeah.
said y'all could, NFL already has a problem with their contracts and money, so those
Right.
guys are just like, damn, slaves to the system. They couldn't turn that away.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA last year,
Which is
they didn't
unfortunate.
mandate it. They just had
Mhm.
very thorough, extensive testing. They're not doing that as much this year because they're hoping that more guys get the vaccine, so that
Vaccine.
they
So that
believe,
but
quote unquote, it
people
absolves.
acting like the vaccine just clear up everything though. Like
it's
we were just
not-
talking about it. Chris
yeah.
Paul got COVID in the middle of the playoffs.
And he was
And he's
fully
vaccinated.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple people have caught it twice and are out for safety protocols. Let me
Right.
ask you this: do you think what Kyrie is doing, the stance that he's taking, is that on the noble level of what Ali was doing? Does it put it in the Kareem, Bill Russell? Does it put him in the more of the militant player? Pecking order because his
Even
stance.
Kaepernick,
Because a lot of
but
people,
Kaepernick.
he's not very liked right now.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't like people sabotaging his name.
Yeah.
And representing him when he said it should be choice.
Right.
Go ahead, sister. We want to
Go
get you to
ahead.
say that again
Go
on
ahead,
the mic so
Anika.
we can hear.
Caller. My
What's your
name
name?
is
Anika feels very
Right,
strongly
right,
on
right.
this
I'm
one, so I
calling.
know.
No, I just when I watched it, what I gathered from him
Mhm.
is he doesn't like his name to be discredited, and people are toe tagging him as being a troublemaker when actually he says he feels like he should do what he does
Mm-hmm.
wants
Yeah.
to do
What's
for
best for him?
himself.
Yeah.
And everybody
Absolutely.
else is basically to each his own.
Mm.
But he doesn't like how he's being martyred in the press and in the public.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
I kind of agree with that. I do feel that way, and
Mhm.
I think my personal stance is a lot of people are throwing daggers at him or feel some kind of way
Mhm.
that they're forced to take the vaccine
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and other people are not, and they don't, and still having benefits
Yeah.
and still basically getting away with walking around
Mhm.
completely healthy
Right.
and not injected, and they're angry because they had to do it or they were forced to do it. So I totally get that, but at the same time, you don't toe tag someone
You
for
don't.
their
I don't
own
think they're really
personal
speaking
Yeah.
on
Absolutely.
and like he was even saying, I don't think he's
Yep.
speaking on being like for or against the vaccine. It's just about like having the right to choose.
And he's
Like
right.
simple.
Because
Nah.
once it's taken away, our freedom of choice, just think what's going to come next.
Yeah.
Right.
That's going to be taken
Because
away.
we have rights, quote unquote, as a free nation to be able to do certain things, and like they're slowly taking those things away. Pretty soon that thing's gonna be rewritten. Like
The thing with Kyrie though is that he's suffering from residual effects of past annoying behavior.
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah.
last year,
we said the world
you
was
know,
flat.
I mean, he didn't get off to a great start when he made his declaration of he believes the world is flat. Then there was when he got
did.
traded. He told them.
Hey,
Right.
He told Cleveland.
go ahead. Nick.
When he was with Cleveland and he wanted to leave and not play with LeBron, he said, "If you guys don't trade me, I'll just get knee surgery and not play the year." So he literally just threatened to say, "I'll get surgery to not play," which is,
Yeah.
that's
That's
kind of
crazy.
problematic. Because
That is
you're-
kinda problematic.
A franchise
Yeah.
is paying you top dollar. If you're healthy, you're
He
supposed
said,
to
"I
go
want
out
my
and play."
shine."
Yeah.
So then he gets himself traded. Then he kind of like
Up Jay Horn.
gives the impression that he's there for Boston to play with them, and then he kind of like shuts himself down when he doesn't feel like playing.
Right.
He keeps avoiding the questions about will he commit to the team past when he becomes a free agent, and then he eventually left Boston.
Yeah.
Then you have him in Brooklyn. He's missing games when he doesn't feel like practicing. He was like, actually, I don't even believe that we should have a coach. We can just kind of manage ourselves.
That's
So it's
hilarious.
been annoying time after
Yeah,
time after
yeah,
time
yeah.
after time. It's kind of hard for us. It's hard to rally support behind you because
Yeah.
you're coming, and then when it's media day where players are supposed to show up and speak to
Right,
the media
take
last
the picture,
season,
speak to the
he
media.
doesn't go to media day and he goes, "Please respect my privacy," without explaining. Or like
Mhm.
last
Any reason
year,
why.
he was seen at.
People need to compartmentalize each individual.
Yeah.
True, I get
I mean-
compartmentalization, but when it's like back to back to back, it's freaking hard.
He does it
Yeah,
whenever
but
he does it at his leisure.
Like last
He
year,
do
he
what
was.
I
he
mean,
does.
he had some
Do
faux
what he does.
pas,
Yeah.
but I think these are isolated events.
But it's so many
and
back
you
to
have
back
to
though.
compartmentalize it. Yeah, it's so many, but there's
Mhm.
a lot of people. You got rappers and artists and politicians that got issue after issue after issue, but they're
Mhm.
not being
Right.
toe
They're
tag
not-
like
So
like
in
one
the
of the things,
media.
right, that he
Yeah,
violated,
started a
that
podcast.
an actual offense that he technically did,
Uh-huh.
when they were very, thorough with the extensive testing, players were not mandated to go out. Like you had to either, home and you go to the arena facility, you couldn't go
Yeah.
out. And then he was seen out at a birthday party with his family. And then when they asked him about it, he decided he's like, I don't feel like answering that question right at the time.
Hilarious.
So he,
Out and
he
about.
did stuff like that.
See,
He was
I,
a-
I
he-
just, I just
I don't
want
know,
to
he
say
just
if
gotta
he
do what he
you
say.
can't make him do it.
He was
Yeah.
the
What
he
are
was
you
the
mad
definition
about?
of
Yeah.
posting
What are
his
you
live
mad?
stories
You
while
just
calling out of
mad?
work.
Right,
I think people are
right.
mad because
Right.
they couldn't do it. I
Yeah.
think that's what it boils
It'd be
down
like, hey,
to.
That's
coach,
what
I
it
ain't,
is.
Do what
coach,
he
I ain't
can
gonna
do,
make
he
it to work
doing-
today. Like James Harden was doing that one season where he came
Then
back all
just
big.
fine 'em.
The brother was
Yeah.
eating, he was
Just-
chilling, strip
Right,
clubs.
right.
Like,
Just take
The
the
strip
fine.
clubs, yeah.
See, they
But I
cannot
think that-
control people like that, and that becomes a problem.
you can't,
Yeah.
kind of like how Rodman was back in the Bulls era. But like he was just touching on, like when you see something so much, he's an easy target.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're a black male, you're an all-star.
That's
You're
what it
known
is.
for having like these trials and tribulation behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's easy to like target him. Oh, he don't want to get the vaccine. When we're trying to get everybody to take it, get him.
When
Yeah.
the NBA was trying to do the
Yeah.
bubble thing, he was like, "Why should we go in the bubble? There's more important things going on in the world that we should fight for." But
Thanks,
then
brother.
the league said that,
The
"Hey,
attack on the Capitol. Yeah.
attack on the
Oh, yeah.
Capitol." But then the league
Yeah.
was like, "Well, we can use the bubble to highlight racial injustice, and
Mhm.
the league did what they could to invoke positive
They did
changes
nothing.
and
Right.
Yeah.
money being
Right.
donated and
They
causes."
did nothing.
You don't think they did?
Absolutely not.
I think the NBA was more progressive than a lot of other
Black
sports.
Lives Matter it was about money.
Oh
They
yeah.
wanted to still be able to capitalize.
Well,
on
because they had to
getting
honor their
money.
TV
Yeah.
contracts.
So if you lock up a bunch of people in a bubble, they're
Yeah.
going to get their money because there were people like my mother faithfully watching, and the advantage was these people were able to get checks, but at the same thing, there was nothing racially motivated by it or positive.
No,
Um,
did you follow what the Bucks did when they
Yes,
they protested, but then they they
Mhm.
started a bunch of organizations where they were
yes, but that had
allocating
nothing to
money.
do with the bubble.
they were able to do it because of the bubble, because of the fact that they played and honored and finished the TV deal, so that the money they raised and that they could put eyeballs on all the different organizations that got started. If they didn't do the bubble, they wouldn't have been able to do that.
And
Yeah.
how many other teams did that?
A lot of other
That's
every
a good
team like eventually had meetings.
I don't agree with that. I don't believe the purpose. I think that there were isolated incidents where people tried to help, but I don't think that would be a reason as to why they're in the bubble, an advantage.
I
of
mean,
being
different
there.
agendas.
Yeah.
Of course, there was multiple
think there
agendas,
was
not just
agenda.
one agenda for Black Lives. There was obviously different things being met.
Yes,
But what
that's all I'm
in my opinion, I feel like the NBA is way more progressive than most other sports in terms of their contributions to racial injustice,
Right.
you know,
Racial,
black
gender equality.
employees,
Yeah.
hiring, management. There's still an ongoing battle, but compared to NFL, compared to MLB,
Right.
they're way more progressive and way more proactive in terms of helping than the other sports are. With
They're helping
with
out
black
the
causes.
issues with the
Interesting.
WNBA.
So
pay,
I mean, you
yeah.
can be hard on them. We have the right to still be, but I mean, like if you think about what the NFL do, which is next to nothing.
Nothing. They do nothing.
they
yeah.
all do
They do nothing.
MLB,
Yeah.
soccer.
They're just not
The
enough.
NHL.
It's just not
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
I get
Seeing
it.
as though how much
Yep.
money is
We're still
made.
far away.
It's never
And
going to be
how
enough for what
much-
we ultimately want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two of the leagues are majority of people of color.
Mhm.
There should have been more. That's all I'm saying.
A
All
long
right, I
ways
feel
to
you,
go.
black women. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're long
Black
ways
Queen,
to go.
Get some more
Sister
done.
over there from Zeta Phi Beta Sorority
Zeta Phi,
Incorporated.
yeah.
I see you over there.
I cleaned the bathroom.
Shout out-
You
shout out to
couldn't
Kappa
clean the
Alpha
bedroom,
Psi.
though? Like,
Yo.
but I cleaned the bathroom and I did the tub. But what about the bedroom though?
Right.
The sheets ain't been changed.
Right. So you one of those. I can see how you going to do your kids. Mama, I cleaned the whole house, but did you scrub the roof?
Did you rake those leaves though?
Right.
Right.
Mom, we don't even have a tree. Those aren't even ours. Like,
I get it. We gotta keep our
Oh,
standards high.
man.
We can't just settle.
yeah.
Gotta keep going.
So I'm gonna lighten the mood up a little bit on some of these injustices going on. We had a question that I believe A.Dot wanted to get into.
Since it's Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursdays. There we go.
Question of the day is, what year would you travel back to and why? Is there any specific year?
Yeah.
Well, I
Go
already
back
said.
to
I
and
told
why?
y'all yesterday when we were doing the prep call. Like,
Yeah.
niggas ain't going past 70 something. Like, once you hit 60s and civil rights, and I'm not going anywhere past water hose era. So for me, definitely like 96, 98. I remember as a kid, 98 was such a great year with the music and ML sports and TV and stuff like that. Like, so if I was an adult, I'd want to go to 98 because I would want to be able to go to like the clubs and feel how it was to be like in the Tunnel, which is a legendary New York nightclub. You know, everything that happened pre the Diddy Shine incident that made New York clubs so different after.
I was gonna say the Diddy Shine because I had I have 2 years that I would travel back.
Oh, yeah,
specifically. I said 1996 because specifically like the like we were talking about the Diddy, the Mace, the whole era when everything was popping
Bad Boy
off.
era, that's the golden
and then
era,
also like to try to, like I said, I want to try to slide in and see Tupac before he go.
So June of 96.
June of 96. If I can get to that Tyson fight, you know, slide up in there, see the fight, see Tupac, and be like, hey brother, you know, it's gonna be good seeing you for the next 15 minutes.
And we love New Edition. That was also the Home Again tour.
And then New Edition, the Home Again tour. My mom actually went on that tour. It was like Blackstreet, New Edition, and it was
Keith Sweat.
There we go. So that would be 96 would be one, and then I would travel back to 1984.
That's a big year.
I say 1984 because like you had Thriller. You had like the Purple Rain era, and that's when Breaking came out. I don't know if you guys like breakdancing movies.
I got to see some of those classic hip hop original
films. So Breaking in 1 and 2, it was like
you got.
It was a sequel. It was a movie. There was a movie and it was a sequel, and they both came out the same year, which lets you know what the budget was like in the none.
Rush sequels never are
but
good sign.
I would go back to that year just to try out for the film. I would audition. I would have, man, boy, with that curl, I would have been ready. Like,
New Edition had Cool It Now, so you had Jerry Curl.
Jerry Curl, man, that's what they had. Turbo.
I would have definitely, so.
Wouldn't have wore those clothes, though.
Yeah, 96 and 98, because me and you like a lot of the same things. And I definitely would go 84 because Eddie Murphy, biggest comic in the world.
Oh, my gosh,
that would
I would have loved to have been able to go see Eddie do stand-up.
Now, would you go back as the age you are now, or go back to a younger age?
I would say.
I would love to go back with some wisdom.
Your age or younger?
Maybe like 22.
Yeah, I was gonna say 20. I think 20s will be good because I'd be a little bit more reckless, so I could have more fun.
Yeah,
going back in my 30s, I'd be like,
now,
brother,
like, there's no gonna be like, oh, let me try coke now. Like, I don't think, you know, and it sucks. And I say this because, you know, unfortunately, like
nobody
a couple
goes back.
Weeks ago, my comic community, we lost somebody to a drug overdose and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
And it made me go, you know, I appreciate that. But what I learned was like, damn, like. I've been a fairly guy, like I didn't do a lot of substance or whatever like that. So to start at like 30 plus, it just feels weird. Like to go try to get the cocaine in the sweet hotel, somewhere with a view, whatever like that.
And you know better.
To start now when I know better because I know shit I can have a heart attack. So you gotta go on a reckless age. So 22.
You gotta go when you're younger, when you're willing to make choices. It's like, for example, like
let's do it.
Yeah.
We talk about drugs, but like for example, if you were like a gymnast, would you try to do like if you were doing backflips as a kid, that's one thing. But would you try doing a backflip at 40 if you never did one?
You can't do it. Young. You go back young.
You never did one. Yeah.
Nick heard backflip, and he was like, all right, let me get back in the game.
I was struggling the other day to wrap my mind around doing a cartwheel.
Right.
Because as a kid, you could just walk down the street at any time, just decide to do a cartwil, and it's easy.
Right.
And in my head, it just seemed so simple, and I could not convince myself to fucking swing my arms. I seen everything going wrong, bro. I was like, yo, I'm gonna break, I'm gonna pull some shit.
I could hurt my hand.
I could twist my wrist, anything. I was sitting there like, nah, fuck that.
Because you got that conscious thinking now.
Because age was fearing you over time.
Bruh.
That is true.
Like, so yeah, I gotta go 22. So that 22 is you technically legal. The world is accessible. Right?
Yeah.
You know, as a guy.
You said in the 80s too. That was like the cocaine era.
The cocaine era.
I know, right?
60s to whatever.
A lot of people who were like partying in the 80s were like, I don't remember that decade.
Yeah.
It just went by.
Right,
partying with Rick James.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
With that type of music.
Showtime Lakers.
To be able to party with timeless music.
Hip hop was just kind of still, you know, hip hop
wasn't
wasn't
back
great,
when they rap like this.
Yeah, a lot of Curtis Blow, Run DMC-ish, B-boy.
Oh my god.
Jordan, that was.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Jordan, because he came in what, 86?
84,
yeah.
So
yeah.
84 is a great year.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's like a lot of
of
dudes.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not picking 62 just to get the New Yorker haircut, the doo-wop.
Right.
Do a doo-wop. Like you do a concert and then the white people come rob you right after the concert.
Go back to 62 just to see what a real protest looked like.
That's true. Yeah, maybe you go.
Yeah. I would
Yo,
go
could
back
you
to
imagine
the
a protest
90s.
with no Apple Maps though? Like,
oh my
shit.
gosh.
Oh my fuck, we walking?
Hey, bro, where we going?
Follow the north.
Yeah.
Follow us to the mountaintop.
Right.
You know.
Follow the North Star.
Follow
It's daytime. Like.
Yeah.
That
I can imagine they was walking forever with no direction. Like
they were
know.
hitting
Can you
bridges.
Oh my god.
They were
it's
just
crazy.
walking.
I would definitely go back to the 90s.
What year?
The
What
90s.
year specifically?
What year
It would probably be
Me
like
and
90,
Will, like
95.
encyclopedias.
It would be like 95,
So
96.
95
Yeah, that would
was
be a fun
Dina
year.
Howard, Freak Like Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. That would've
TLC,
been fun.
Waterfall.
TLC.
That
Yep.
would be a freaking.
We would have all that.
95 was New Jersey Drive. 95 was Mobb Deep.
My
Oh,
deep.
yeah.
Coming out.
It was
95 was Power Rangers, the movie.
Oh yeah,
You
the
remember
first
all
one, the
that?
first
He
one,
like Power
yeah,
Rangers?
and the first
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when the first Power Rangers came out was in '93 when they came out with the actual show. The show came out in '93, yeah.
Yeah, movie 95 was
Like Ninja Turtles too, when that was '90.
You definitely
95
had
was a good year.
all that. So Nickelodeon, that was the coming out. I don't know.
Nickelodeon, yeah.
Oh, that was it, boy.
Explosion.
Oh my God, that's funny.
It's super crazy. You know, I actually did a love scene with one of the girls on the original cast. All that.
Which one? Can you share?
Huh?
Can you share?
Oh Lord.
That's all good. Angelique Bates.
Who did she play? Who was she?
I think she's one only. She was the black girl on the show.
Was she the
Outside
dark
of,
skinned one who
the
did like
dark-skinned
the
one,
chocolate sauce?
Yes,
I love
her.
chocolate.
Yes, her.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh
okay.
my God.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it wasn't like no like crazy scene or whatever. It was like 11.
We know. I just wanted to know if you was going to say names or not.
No, I mean, I'm sure she cool with it. Angelique cool, yeah. She ain't tripping like that, and she Haitian
Yeah,
by the
y'all
way too.
actors.
She Haitian too.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Even more, I'm more happy for her.
Nigga and I are both Haitian,
She
so
got
yeah.
to share a scene with you. Yeah.
She got to share a scene.
Yeah,
So
shout out to her. I mean,
The Haitian.
you know, all that, you know, you think about that, man. These were a kid's sketch show. Like, that was
Yeah.
unheard of in the States. And what they did was, they're
And it was
legends,
good.
man. I love,
Mhm.
there was a thing on Twitter. I don't know if are you on Twitter a lot?
Yeah.
They had a thing called Niggelodeon because they were showing
Oh
all the
my
rapper
God.
performances.
Oh,
Because
my God,
all
I
that
see-
would book like niggas who had no business
They
performing
would.
on the
Heard of
shows.
that.
Like I saw the Locks, and they did a song called "Jiggy." If you think I'm Jiggy, and yo, that song was nowhere kids content, and them niggas cleaned
He's
up
right,
the song. Mace, they had Mace coming on.
They did have some
Ice
nice
Cube
ones.
did.
But they-
We be clubbing like. If all these little white kids in the audience,
And it was
like,
in the
cheering.
audience, like,
It was the funniest shit ever. So niggas would share
Oh
like
my
the
God,
the
that's
rapper
funny.
performances, and they call it Niggelodeon.
and then I mean they did have like the Spice Girls. They did have Usher.
No, they mixed it up, but they
Usher.
definitely
They had
had
Usher,
like,
and he had to mile down his performance. So he did the dance. He lifted up his shirt instead of taking it off.
Right.
Like
he didn't go full out
he
baby
didn't, he
oil.
didn't go full out
Yeah.
right.
Y'all seen when remember the Weeknd
that's
won the
funny.
Nickelodeon's Kids Choice Awards? And
Wow.
And this
he
nigga talk about
performed.
cocaine damn near every song.
Yeah,
Right.
he performed that song. There's
Oh
a,
my-
I can't feel my face. That's what he performed.
Oh,
my
he did.
face,
right.
Oh my
He
God,
cleaned
that's
it up.
Right.
hilarious.
And the kids were like, and I love it.
Right, but if you watched the when it was trending, the Nickelodeon ones, 'cause they kept sharing like rapper after rapper, like they had Too Short. It was just
Oh,
like
that's funny.
you can't have.
You
and
can't book
you see
Too
the
Short
kids
at
in the
no
audience
kids'
is
event.
little white kids.
And they be singing.
But I don't
those
think that
songs,
I
too.
don't think that white people are listening. I think it's like they're just catching the
the
vibration.
black kids were in there
Right.
too,
Yeah.
vibing, but like they were just happy
Yeah.
to see somebody
Mhm.
performing on
Oh my
stage.
God,
But
I've seen him before.
the fact that like
Yeah.
the rappers and the songs that they would do
Right.
had no business being on
Right.
a
Nah,
show
they-
for kids and
For
teens.
Yeah, I just think I don't think they're listening to the
Ain't
song.
no way
yeah,
you
it
can have the
sounds
Locks
good.
performing at a kid's show.
That was the best.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's like
Nickelodeon.
that Kids Bop.
What else was
This
in
little
What else
Kids
was in
Bop channel.
What else is in '95?
Yo, Kids Bop.
Kids
Speaking
Martin.
of-
95.
That was Martin.
Ain't
Yeah,
that
Martin
ain't that
Friends.
Clueless? 95 Clueless.
95.
Oh yeah, Clueless.
Yeah,
I
right.
think
You
they
just
did
laugh
that.
movie,
Clueless and shit.
Clueless came out.
What did you say
Kids Bop.
about what?
Kids
Montel
Bop.
Jordan.
Oh
That's
no,
when he broke
Montel
out.
Jordan, 1995.
That's
Yes,
how we
that's
do
how
it.
we do it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
that was
Yeah.
fun too.
Shout out to
Those
Brother-
glasses, and then
Jordan.
everybody used to wear like teenagers used to wear the Kangos with the
Mhm.
little.
Remember those big glasses, the ones that had the little, but they were like this big.
Oh
and then
yeah.
big ass
Like,
cell
You're
phones.
talking about like
TLC.
TLC?
TLC used to
oh,
wear 'em,
yeah,
yeah.
the TLC.
And
I saw
the
TLC in
big
concert. I went to the
phones.
fan mail
Mhm.
tour.
It was the big.
I went to the
black
fan mail
phones.
tour. That's back when Left Eye was still popping.
When she was still here.
When she
Yeah,
was
that's what I
still
mean.
here.
You know what I'm saying? I was trying to keep it
It
light.
was
Yeah,
being
she
popping.
was
I was trying to keep it
when
light.
she
I'm
was
like,
here.
I was trying to keep it light.
As long as she fell off and then
She
fell
was-
into obscurity
like-
and she died. Like,
like,
so she was here.
she was alive. Yeah.
She was
alive.
actually
Okay,
active.
back when
boy.
Lisa Left Eye Lopez was
Mhm.
around.
R.I.P. to the great. Lisa
R.I.P.,
Left,
yes.
for
Yes.
sure. 95 was. I mean, I don't know. I
That
don't
was
think,
a smooth
I think
year.
I don't think you could miss with the 90s. Like, what bad year in the 90s was there? To people who just love the 90s like
90s
that.
was fun.
You know?
And 90s is like when it was like, I would say it's like the tail end, maybe the early 2000s when it comes down to timeless music as well. Like in terms of like how it is now versus like music
But
that
you
can
know
just
what?
play.
I think every
Mhm.
generation complains just about the past. Like, there's
Yeah.
going to be
No.
kids in 2020s going to be saying, yo, back in the 2010s, we had Drake, we had Dream, we had Weeknd, we had Chris Brown. Like, what y'all young niggas had? Like, I'm starting
Those
to get
were
that
all
way. I think
solid
every
artists,
generation shits on whatever was 20
Yeah.
years prior. Like,
Mhm.
I guess the 90s has still managed to hold up. Now we're getting into the 3 decades removed from the 90s, but like
I just think because it's not so much just like. Well, you have the timeless music, but just the fast pacing of how music comes out. Like so much
the way
is
we
coming
consume
out.
music is definitely way different.
Because like they would put out an
Different.
album and you would listen to that for like
the
a
album
year,
would be the
2
thing for
years.
months.
Yeah, you know what I'm
years.
saying.
That's
and
true
then
too. I don't like
You would
how
go
we
buy the CD.
you would go buy the
Buy the
CD,
CD,
you would listen to it,
wait
you
for
open
the
it up,
second-
Yeah,
read the,
wait
you would
for it
read
to
the
be
lyrics.
released.
wait for the second, third, fourth
Right.
video.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that definitely plays a part because what we is now, it's like we got Drake and Kanye's album, and then I think by in 2 weeks we were kind of like, all right, we moved on to the next
We
thing.
moved on to the
Somewhat.
next thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus if
Somewhat.
the album
Download.
came out
90s,
in
that
92.
song would be on the radio forever
Right.
if you had a hit.
That song would be out for like 3 years.
Oh, Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey, One Sweet Day.
Oh yeah, Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey.
Selena.
Oh, I forgot it was that.
Selena. Can't forget about Selena. Anything for Selena.
Oh, my girl, Selena.
Oh man,
Ah,
love Selena. I hate that.
Oh.
I hate that fat bitch. I don't even know the one who really killed her. I just know the actress from the movie. I hated her for
Didn't she
like
pass
so
away
many
She passed
years.
recently?
away.
She did
Nobody,
pass away.
Yeah,
nobody
that
cares.
Hey,
very-
I
what's
hated
funny
her
is
for
like
real.
they're
actress
like
did.
such
Still
and such
like,
actor
fuck
passed
that
away.
bitch.
The killer
I
Selena.
know,
They're like,
we
I
was all
still don't
mad.
like that bitch. Like,
Right.
I think her and the black chick from Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
Oh, no, she's still alive.
I know. I didn't say she died.
Oh,
Why you gonna put
yeah.
the death
Yeah.
on her?
Nah,
No,
but you know, Lynn has
you talking
redeemed
about her
herself.
character- her
Lynn has
character.
redeemed herself.
No, she came out and said that after that movie,
She got a lot of hate from
like
that.
she got a lot of hate. Men would not. They didn't want nothing to do with her. And
Yeah,
she was like,
just
"Yo, it's
looked
just a
scary.
movie."
It's like
yo.
she just acted it so
that
well.
movie was
She did an
wild.
amazing job.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that.
I
Tonight.
believed her, nigga. I was like,
Yeah.
Right. And
I
then,
think I would also go back to like all the
I know you
technology,
cougars.
like when they first started selling stocks and stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
go in and-
If I had
go
not-
in
You on
and be
some
like,
different Back to the
"Oh,
Future
I'ma
shit."
go, I'ma
Right,
go
so
get
you saying
this,
like
I'ma
you
go
going
buy
back with
all
knowledge?
this.
you can't
Yeah.
you can't Back to the Future.
I'm
You
just
can't
saying, I
flip
would
it.
go back
Okay,
to
so
the
are we,
future
so are we
too.
going back with knowledge we have now? Or we
No,
just
no,
going
no,
back
yeah,
at a certain
yeah.
You don't get the
age?
I'd be
knowledge.
like,
You don't
I
get
think
the
you just go
knowledge.
back at a certain age.
You know of the history,
Yeah.
but you
Let
don't
me
get you don't have the
apple.
knowledge.
Let me get that apple.
I think we're missing the most
Yeah.
important event of '95, though.
Freak Nick?
O.J. Simpson.
Oh,
O.J. Simpson trials.
Oh yeah.
I said Freak Nick. I'm sorry.
Oh man, the Freak Nick. He's on
Man.
Freak Nick.
Hey,
I
hey,
wasn't there.
I'm gonna
I-
tell you right
I
now.
know.
In
We
'95,
don't have a
Freak
Freak
Nick?
Nick now.
That was the most important.
in '95, I was not tripping off OJ.
We have OnlyFans.
Nah, you know why?
We don't have-
Like-
we
I was
didn't have
playing
Freak
kickball.
Nick.
Yeah, we have only.
The only reason I knew about O.J. in '95, I remember they cut the Bulls game. The
And
Bulls.
it was a
playoff
finals game when the chase
Yeah.
happened.
It
when
was
they
a
were chasing
playoff game.
OJ. It was the
That's the only
Knicks,
thing I
that was
remember.
94. But yeah, the trial was 95. It was in a news
I was
cycle.
playing
SNL
kickball.
had jokes every week. What?
So I was playing kickball. I wasn't worried about no OJ in
No,
'95.
I didn't even know who he was. I just
Yeah.
know they cut the
Yeah.
game off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to O.J. man.
Right.
SNL,
OJ.
yeah, it was a topic for like a year.
We all watched the chase
Did his thing and got off,
Funny.
man.
on
Shout out to
live
O.J.
TV. On TV.
OJ.
And then we got some of the best stand-up bits ever from that.
Yeah.
Chris Rock's bit and Bring the Pain was on the OJ bit.
Bring the
Damon Wayans
Pain.
had a really great OJ bit in his special.
Mhm.
It was a huge thing.
Was
That's
did
funny.
a Wu-Tang release something that year too?
Yeah, that's
95 or
well,
96,
no,
was it? I
That-
thought it was, or maybe it was later.
They had the solo guys, like Raekwon,
Method? No.
Raekwon's album, Ghostface, I think, because their first album,
I was thinking of Method and
the
Mary
Eight
J.
Chambers
Blige.
came out in
RZA?
'93, and then
Oh,
Wu Tang
okay.
Forever was '97. So,
Mhm.
but '95, everybody, the solo guys was out.
Did their own thing,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, Ice Cream.
Oh, that used to be fun.
Yeah, '95 would be a good year.
95. So far, basically, the
96.
'90s and kind of the '80s is kind of like
Yeah.
that piece. The '70s would be fun. But
I would do
mean,
'72, just as Jackson's. Just
The
to go see
Jacksons,
the
yeah,
young Michael,
1972,
Black Michael, little Black
right.
Michael.
That's
That
what
would be
my
fun.
mom put me on the '70s young. She's like, that was
Motown
my
era.
era. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go.
Smokey,
you
the
know,
Jacksons, that would be nice.
New York in the '70s, like
Mhm.
Harlem, and
Oh gosh.
just a whole, yeah,
You'd be in there, would you be
Black
like?
exploitation era
Would you
movement,
be wearing that whole suit, or would you be
bell bottoms,
Yeah.
and shit,
bell
chest out,
bottoms?
maybe, sure.
Could you imagine wearing like bell bottoms and like a butterfly collar shirt to like an interview?
Why do you
Yeah,
feel
I'm here.
funny.
I'm looking for the job. Oh, see here, brother. I feel like I've worked hard and like
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, 72. Yeah.
Now, since you do comedy
What's
and you're
up?
a comedian, is there any comedian that inspired you or what got you into comedy?
Oh, I mean, easily. My mom, she was my conduit because she was a big comedy fan, and
Mm-hmm.
she showed me stand up when I was a kid. Like we watched. She had tapes of Def Comedy Jam.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And so I was watching tapes of like Young Martin and then all the guys. I had the
okay.
episodes that had Chris Tucker,
I used to
Bernie
watch
Mac,
those
Bill
live.
Bellamy, Eddie Griffin, and then my first special that I watched was Eddie Murphy Raw. That was the first comedy tape I ever
Oh, man.
consumed. I
One
was
of the
like
best
10 or
ever.
11. and that blew my mind. So, and Eddie, I was a fan because of the movies and stuff. And then when she talked to me about the art form of stand up, and then we rented Raw because they didn't have Delirious for some reason. Delirious wasn't available.
Yeah.
So Raw was the thing most people had, and I watched that. And when as I got older, and you watching Comedy Central, you watching. The different shows that came out at the time, the Bad Boys of Comedy, Martin Lawrence's Stars, and then they brought Def Jam back.
Yeah.
So seeing that, it kept feeding that beast. And then my live shows, my mom took me to see a Chappelle show, do stand-up. I saw him do stand-up when I was like 15, 16.
Oh, wow.
He did a theater in Florida, and this was like when Chappelle Show was Chappelle Show, like before he left.
That was back in like early 2000s.
So 04, 05.
Yeah.
And then I saw my 18th birthday or 17th birthday, I saw Godfrey at the Miami Improv because he lived in Florida at the time.
Yeah.
And he was great. He did 2 hours. So that was my first like show in a comedy club. So it's just like I already have this love for comedy. My mom is taking me to shows. I'm watching the shows. Me and my friends are watching YouTube, consuming stand-up. So, and then when I moved back to New York after I graduated from high school, me and my cousin went to go see. Remember the movie Funny People with Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Now I actually didn't think the movie was that funny.
It wasn't.
And I was just like, yo, I could do. I was telling my cousin Luke, I could do stand. I could be funnier than what they were doing in the movie, right? And I was a big, because Seth Rogen was like that dude back then. So that was like his first kind of like misstep. Like just, it had good points, but it was just too long and it was just choppy and whatnot. But I took from it that, I feel like I could really do it. And then I was watching a really good show, Inside the Actor's Studio.
Oh, okay, that's
with James
good.
Lipton, and then I was always watching
some good stuff,
great interviews. But I watched all the ones that had comedians. So I saw the Martin episode, the Jim Carrey episode, the Carlin episode, Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Eddie, and Chappelle's episode when he finally like decided to speak. That was the first, I think, one of the only places he interviewed was that one in Oprah. Yeah. So when I'm just like at home, I'm coming home from school. I'm getting used to being back in New York, but I don't really have like a big social circle. So I'm just going home. And I'm just watching those interviews, and I'm like, man, I really gotta try it. I got the bug is just there. I'm 18. So my school, I went to a CUNY school, a Queensborough Community College, and they had an open mic night or like a night where you could kind of perform and do whatever. So I said, bet. And actually,
my brother went there.
This month, I'm actually gonna this month will be the month where I first did stand up. So it's actually cool. It happened like I believe the 17th. I'm terrible with dates. I went to the mic. Most people were doing like singing, poetry, whatever. They had nobody to stand up. So I said, "Oh, this is perfect. Nobody's done stand up. So I'm gonna get these guys because everybody's bodied up in little studio.
They're doing their thing.
All these kids is chilling. We in between classes. This thing is gonna be like an hour and change. You sign up. And I had a little 2-3 minutes, and I actually think I remember telling my cousin Edward I'm gonna do stand up at the school, and I got these little jokes I'm gonna work out, and I think I did that shitty joke I told you guys earlier.
Hilarious.
I did that with some jokes about riding the bus to school, and then Caribbean people, and talk about being Haitian, and there was a lot of Caribbean kids there, so like I killed it. I had for what it was at the time. My little 2-3 minutes, it popped so hard in the student union, and I said, all right, I gotta go figure out how to get to the city and learn how to do the comedy clubs and stuff like that. But from that show just told me, I got to go do this because I got laughs on stage. And it was such a great feeling, man. It was incredible. And I'm making kids like my age who are like, going to school with me laugh. So it gave me the bug. And then I went to the city, never stopped doing it after that. Never.
That's what's up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, 12 years later. Yeah.
12 years later,
wow,
he's still actively at it.
Yeah, man.
Actually, I've been to a few Nick shows. I've seen Nick in New York.
Will saw me record my hour.
I saw her record his hour. Yeah,
you saw me in New York for the first time when I did stand up. So thank you.
Brought the crew out there. It was on my birthday actually that year.
Yeah,
it was on my 30th birthday.
Yeah, we had a good night. He was going to London the next day.
Yeah,
he was like, "Yo, I'm in town. You want a link?" And a lot of times because here's the thing what I love about Will, right? Because the transplants who come to LA get a lot of flack. Like it's like it ain't the LA people that ain't real. It's y'all niggas who move from everywhere who ain't dope people. But Will was always been a solid dude. And Will was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be in New York. Can we link?" And I'm like, "All right, bet. I got a show. I can get your friends in. I want to come." And he brought his brother and his brother's wife, and we had a great time.
Oh, that's cool.
We had empanadas and had drinks at this spot in Midtown. And he just stayed up until he had to go catch his flight. But yeah, he's it's been a great ride. I'm still hustling, still trying to do my thing. But yeah, I haven't stopped doing stand up since 2009. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man.
Stand up a whole different animal.
Yeah,
now, since we're all in the acting community and filmmakers, What
You
what's
write? What do you
inspired?
do?
What's inspired you guys?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, produce.
Produce,
write,
okay,
She
cool.
writes,
act.
produce, acts as
What,
well.
what genre
What-
are you more into comedy or?
Pretty open, everything.
Gotcha.
Comedy.
She's
pretty
I
open,
just
yeah,
we
she does
just I
drama.
just produced a horror film, like a horror. short film.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah,
It's funny, you know. No, I say this real talk. Like I went to when I was in an acting class, and what I liked about this teacher. His name is Brian Reese. If you guys are ever in LA looking to kind of get started, he's a great acting coach for like beginners or just people who are first moving to town. But he coaches all levels.
Right.
And we used to have a thing where what he would do is we call it genre night, right?
Yeah.
So on genre night, he would give different people, like he'd pair you up and you get different things to do. So one group might get comedy, one group might get drama, one group would get horror. And we do horror. They would do horror scenes, and then I asked him like, "Why would you do horror? Like that feels weird to do in an acting class." Because he said, "You guys watch TV, right? You guys watch films, right?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you guys know which form of content gets produced more than any other genre?" And they were like, he said, "Horror."
Horror.
Look at the TV landscape. So many channels produce horror shows,
Yeah.
and so many movies get
You know how many
made.
low budget horror movies are on Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
But so he was like,
Make it
so you
scared.
should be versed in all genres, and
Right.
then you shouldn't turn your eye just because you don't feel like the writing or whatever is. But there's work. And if
Yeah.
you want to work horror, you will work.
Just
with
learn how to
horror.
die on
Yeah.
camera.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So
now,
that,
what inspired you?
I actually
guys?
have a death.
What inspired you?
as
I
far as
actually have two
acting,
death
Yeah.
scenes.
It's just,
Like,
I mean, with acting, it was the gradual progression. You know, when I watched those Inside the Actor Studios, you know, a lot of those
okay.
guys felt like eventually you do stand up and then you figure out, you know, what's the next thing, you know,
Yeah.
so that and some people use stand up to get to another platform and then they kind of don't come back or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I was always a person of, well, I want to get into film and TV because I want what I do to amplify my stand up. So
there we go.
for
Oh,
me,
okay.
acting is I want to do comedies and stuff like that so that I can become more of a household name on the road.
Oh, okay.
And
Got
then
you.
maybe
so like
if,
being
you know,
like sitcoms and
yeah,
Yeah.
sitcoms or situational shows or films, and you know when then if the opportunity presents itself, maybe you branch out into like genre or into
different
drama
genre,
or whatever.
yeah.
But
once
mostly,
you're on TV, you're
I
more
wanna do
credible in the
something.
game.
yeah, I want to do comedy, you know, and produce and write and acting, yeah, film and television. But
Because as
comedy,
soon as you get in that sitcom, your stock goes
Yeah.
up. When you show up at shows, the money game is there.
yeah,
like-
yeah.
What,
It helps
what-
you'll be able to sell tickets, people to come see you, your
Yeah.
fans,
Mhm.
and it just increases your visibility. So for me, yeah, I'm not using stand up to just do this other thing and then not come back to it. Everything
Yeah.
is to help stand up.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
And what about you, Will?
As far as
What inspired you to become an actor?
what inspired me to be an actor, I kind of come from a family of, I wouldn't say in the entertainment realm. Like my mom danced. She danced in New York. She grew up in Augusta, Georgia, but she danced in New York through the '80s.
Nice.
Fred Astaire dance studio.
Booger
like,
Sugar Days.
yeah, the Booger Sugar days.
He all
Studio 54. No, she danced at the Fred Astaire Dance Academy. I don't know if you guys know who Fred Astaire is, but yeah. And then my uncle was an actor. My uncle actually, had his MFA in acting. He acted in New York. He acted in LA. Did his thing for a little bit.
Nice.
He did like Law and Order, King of Queens, just like little. He had like guest stars in different shows or whatever. So just kind of seeing him on TV, I'm like, wow, that can actually happen. So and I never really had like the will. I wanted to do it, but I was always so nervous. Just kind of like anybody would try to do like stand up or acting.
Yeah.
It's like I want to do it, but But I also danced too, like my mom. So I would get on stage and I would dance, and dance I guess was an easier way for me to express myself because when I was good, but I didn't have to speak.
Yeah.
So I could get up there, do my thing, cool. Like, how you feel about it? I'm out. Like,
Did
So-
you do
Jumping
did you
around.
do talent shows in high school and stuff?
man, I did talent show. Do I?
You got videos?
Yeah, I got them on VHS.
Oh my
Huh.
God.
I was about to say,
step shows?
I did talent shows in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, 7th grade.
What was the
7th grade I
show
did
we
Michael
went to?
Jackson.
It was
step
a couple
show?
years ago.
What step
Or-
show did you
no,
guys
it's
come
been-
to?
It's been a while.
And you
I did
danced
it.
in college
It
with
was
the
a
steps.
step.
and with
Yeah,
your
I did
fraternity.
step performances. I did
It was
step
right- I think it
performances
was
in
right before
college
that,
too, my
yeah.
fraternity. Shout out to Kappa Alpha Psi.
There you go.
He styles his cane.
Quick question.
He does.
So, because obviously, sometimes you age out of roles, right?
Right.
If they offer you a role like a Stomp the Yard type where you're like Brian Jai White, where you like the older nigga at the college,
Hilarious.
you doing it? Just
I
'cause
would
you
do
get
it.
to do your
I would do
college
it. Yeah, I would do it. And I was
in his
step.
30s with his master's degree, but he's still in the step team.
Right.
Still in the step team
Hey,
master's
bro,
degree.
look.
I feel you. I would want to do that because that's something that's like I
Yeah.
love. So I don't,
I
even-
did it, so it's like
Yeah.
it would be very organic for me.
Right, cool.
You
We
wouldn't
had-
pass that roll up, right?
No.
Yeah. So how did that dance open the world to acting then for you?
Just being in the
Mm-hmm.
light, like you know, just like for example, if like anything that you do as far as like entertainment, you get like that extra
rush?
and that rush when like
Oh.
people are seeing what you do. Like for me,
Yeah.
it was dancing at the time. Like I would dance, people like, yo, you good? Because like I would go to clubs and like battle people.
Nice.
Like that was just kind of my thing. Like me, and my friends.
got
was, like,
served stuff?
Yeah, it was in that time zone too. Because like when I really got into that, outside of like watching Michael Jackson growing up and all that, I was
Yeah.
like, it was the You Got Served era. That was in high school for me. So You Got Served.
Oh.
Then Stomp the Yard came out the year I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So
cruise.
yeah, we had a little cruise. We would show up like, oh, what they're doing? What they're gonna be aware? It was just like
Yeah.
the '80s. They're like, they're gonna be where? I bet. Could you imagine just like we'd be sitting in the clubs like this, just waiting for that. So everybody pop in, like waiting for the crowd to get there. You like, yeah, this is cool and all. Where them niggas at though? It wouldn't even be on no fight
They're
tip.
not even looking for
Right.
girls.
They're not
Y'all
even
just
looking
waiting
for
the
girls.
battle.
It was like
And
no
not even for
girls.
girls, no
It was
fights,
like,
nothing. It was
oh,
just yeah.
Daddy over there. Let's
Yeah.
There
start.
they are.
There they
Let's
go.
go. Let's go.
Hey, what up, bruh? But see, like back.
Let me ask you this. So when
Yup,
so you're in the
battling.
club,
Yeah.
you with your crew, y'all
Yeah.
waiting out for these other niggas, y'all not looking at chicks,
Right.
or y'all might be looking at
We
chicks.
looking
in
at
the
chicks. We
meantime
looking
while
at chicks.
y'all
Don't get it
wait.
twisted.
You
Don't get
gonna
it
check
twisted.
them out
Looking at
later
chicks while you wait. Okay,
afterwards.
all right.
I gotta get a little freak dance in as an
right.
appetizer for the real dance
Look,
For
performance.
the real one.
So when the crew that you're waiting for is there,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
and there's enough people at the club, the people at the club are there. Do y'all say, all right, let's go out and dance to start getting everybody like to get the circle
Nah.
moving, or y'all have to wait for them, or how does that happen?
No, a circle
You
would
break
this
just,
down,
a
break this
circle would
down.
just start.
They battling.
So like for me, it wasn't necessarily like crew. Like I didn't have like this whole crew. Like I
Uh-huh.
had a couple partners I danced with. Me and my cousin danced, and there was a couple
Yeah.
boys we knew. But there was specific dancers we knew,
Got you.
like just within like the city. Like I grew up in Tacoma,
Yeah.
Washington, so it'd be like, oh, I know that. Oh boy, he be getting it in. It's
Tacoma.
like, okay, I know he do that one move, so I'm about to counter that.
Mhm.
Like,
So you are in
You
your head
already
working
knew.
on a playbook to counter what
Man.
you think the other people are gonna
I
do
literally-
to get people going.
That's funny.
Oh, and
I
How
had
do you win?
it wasn't really no win. It was kind of like the best crowd support, like letting you
Mhm.
know, like yeah, you know, they all went ooh ah to that part.
right,
Oh,
right.
that's funny.
And I was very
Was this
acrobatic,
crump dancing?
pop locking, crumping.
Right.
This was around the crumping time.
I figured that when you
Yeah,
said
it
you were
was.
Let me
battling
ask
people.
you.
I remember
Yeah,
that
it was-
time. Yeah.
Did you have a night? So we'll talk. You in Tacoma, Seattle, whatever. You in the
Yeah.
poppin' nightclub.
Yeah,
You and your boys is in there. Niggas that you spotting who you know can get in there.
right.
And like, did you ever like have the attention of the crowd and like you fucking flubbed the dance move and like fell and embarrassed yourself? Did that ever happen to you?
I wouldn't say fell and embarrassed myself. There was like moments where like I would blank because like when you're dancing, it's like you're in this creative element. It's kind of like freestyling.
Right.
Like especially if you don't have choreography together, you're like thinking of moves. There's been like a moment where like
Yeah.
I did something and like in my head it just stopped.
Mm. Interesting.
You get what I'm saying? Like I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I bounced back, but like
Yeah,
there'd be a
yeah,
moment where
yeah.
like and then you stop before you were supposed to stop. It's like oh shit, I'm losing right now. Come back, like come back
Wow.
to sense. But yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And also
that's funny.
I had a friend who was like a cheat code.
Mhm.
Okay.
He's one of my good friends. He's from Kuwait. We went to college together.
Uh-huh.
His name is Yusuf Alanezi. Shout out to you if you listening. But yeah, he came from Kuwait. He's one of those guys like super nice dude, like
Mhm.
spoke Arabic, English, whatever. And this dude could dance,
Mm.
and nobody knew it. But
Cheat code.
he's literally the cheat code because like growing up in my city, like people we knew like who could dance like within our circles. But he was like that guy like, oh guys, you know what I'm saying. But as soon as that music come on, brother would transform. Bruh. Like I kid you not, he'd be like, okay, that song would hit. He would just his eyes something. It would be like out of a movie. He'd be like this nigga would start like transforming. He'd be like, oh shit, Ethan, I be working.
He got
Oh,
the
what you
face.
doing? Oh, like,
I got
Oh,
another
that's
question.
funny.
Did you ever dance and kill it so hard on the floor that
Yeah.
like you just bagged the chick and took her home? Like she was just so wild. Like did you ever get that
She's
kind
like,
of
oh, William.
William
William.
the third?
what's funny
William
is
Basham.
I'm gonna say this. I probably did, but I was so like getting the rush of the dancing. I probably didn't even know that was what it was from.
Wow,
Oh, wow.
like,
dope.
like, cause you're like, yeah, and all of a sudden, like, ooh, yeah, it was a fun night.
No.
Oh, you want to go with me? Sure. Like, I'm so,
With
I'm like
me?
so oblivious. Like, yeah, I would love to go home with you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And what? So how did
That's funny.
how did it go from like you coming from Tacoma here, like dancing to acting and then coming out here?
So yeah, like I said, my uncle acted, and I always
Mhm.
like considered it, but I just didn't know how to go about it. So in college, I went through an array of like switching majors and stuff.
Gotcha.
I was doing the accounting thing because Dad was like, you gotta make money, you gotta, security. So I started off doing the accounting thing, and I just was not fucking with it, and I switched my major to media and communications. So I when I was doing that, I was doing like interviews around campus, little vox pops and stuff, and it became fun for me. So I was like, this is my thing. So I graduated with that degree, and then I after I finished school, I was like, what do I want to do? Because I thought like I was gonna be getting Microsoft jobs, so I did. Because that's where I live in Washington. We got Microsoft, Boeing, all that up there. Starbucks. I'm thinking like I'm gonna get one of those jobs, and it just nothing was popping off for me. So I was like, and it got to a point where I was like, I really want to work in entertainment. I've always thought about it. I won't even apply to jobs here, so I might as well bounce.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I came down to visit. I came to visit LA, and I loved it. My boy said he had a room for $500. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
I went home, and 2 weeks later, I put my 2 weeks in.
Wow.
And then I bounced. So then coming here, I initially didn't want to. I wanted to get into acting. I just didn't know how to go about it. So I said a safe route with like my degree and what I was good at was PR. I did club promotions and stuff. I knew how to like bring people together, put stuff out. So I was like, I'll start the PR thing, and then I met people on the radio show. Like we did the radio show Gen U.
Yeah. Met you.
That kind of led me. That was like
With Scott.
Shout out to Scotty Trippin'.
Shout out.
He brought us all together. He brought us all
Yeah,
Shout out
together.
to Scotty B. Trippin'.
I can't lie about that. I can't lie about that.
That's my guy. Shout out
Blocked.
to
But yeah, so touching into the
Blocked.
I tried.
It usually goes that way.
Y'all out for that. Y'all out for that. Leave my boy alone.
No, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Scotty knows.
That's what's
He
up.
knows.
He knows.
So yeah, we so I guess going from the radio show, we had an acting coach that came on the show,
Oh, dope.
and he was talking about Dennis L.A. White. We had mentioned that.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I do acting or whatever. I coach, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to get into acting. I just really never knew how to go about it. And he was like, yeah, I'll get you right. So I took his class, and at first, like, I think I was so nervous, like, because I knew, like, I had a lot of energy for acting. Like, I had the energy, like, I could do certain things, but I didn't know how to break down those scripts. I didn't know how to do, like, I guess you should say the strategic methods of acting. I just knew how to be me.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at the time, it worked in my favor. But, yeah, he did that or whatever, and then I, in one of his classes, he brought an agent to the class, and he had us do a script on, like, basically, you show up to a thing or whatever, they have you break down the script for, like, 15 minutes, then you go in and do your piece. I did my piece, and she was like, this kid's kind of good. She was like, he's like, how long you been acting? I was like, I'm trying to, like, I've been doing it for a little, like, but I was new. I was still green. But she was like, yeah, I would love to represent you. So I was like, all right. I didn't know nothing about agents and stuff here. I did, like, some modeling back home as a kid, but modeling and acting, two different things.
Oh yeah, very different.
Just look cute and versus actually say something. But so yeah, I did that. So she sent me out on the audition, and then my first ever audition I went out for, I booked the role.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, this is I feel like this is my calling.
Yeah.
Even though I still had a lot to learn, because I'm thinking like I blew up, even though it wasn't even like nothing big. It was a pilot that didn't go over.
Yeah.
And and then and then there was a lot of dry season, but I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the process, like the reading the scripts, the auditioning, like the comedic elements, like doing like getting into sketch comedy and like adding like the funny bits that I already had within me and putting them on screen. So that's how the acting thing came about for me.
Since we
That's
asking
dope.
everybody's origin
That's
story,
dope.
can you mind just sharing like how you got into writing and producing?
Yeah. I got into all that. Well, initially when I first moved out here,
Okay.
I started out plus size modeling. So
Nice.
that's I think that's where I met Summer too.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
think
Genu. I think it was Genu.
I think I hosted one of y'all's events.
And then
Yeah.
William hosted an
Oh,
event.
nice.
Yeah, I was up there. I was like, "How y'all doing? Thick up in here." Like,
And then
You
What'd
said
you
thick
say?
up in here?
oh yeah,
when I was doing like the red carpets. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Speedy,
I made it
everybody,
pleasant,
plus size modeling first, and then I got into background acting too, and then
I
I
got background
booked off
acting.
that, and
That's some
then
background
it
in
was
my day.
like, it was like
Ain't nothing
one
wrong
thing
with it,
led
man.
to the
Yeah.
next, and then writing and producing. It was always in the back of my mind because I
Right.
had started coordinating a lot, and I was so like fluent with coordinating events and different things that it just came to me naturally to be in that area. And
Awesome.
then Anika inspired me a lot too, helping me with different. She doesn't
Hey,
realize what
Anika.
she
She's
did.
like curling
Hey,
her
lot
hair.
of things,
Anika a
like,
real
she
one when it
would
comes to
help
this
me,
industry, man. She be
yeah,
having, she be
would
coming
help
with
me
the
on some
knowledge.
stuff too.
Anika come with the knowledge. Yeah.
And then I went back to Arizona State University and finished my degree.
Cool.
So that way it was in producing and filmmaking.
Gotcha.
And then
Nice.
from there it was just like one thing led to another. And then, you have all these stories in your head, and then you're just like, let me put all these characters down, and then you just start writing.
Yeah.
And then after that you're producing, you're like, you know what? If I can get a budget, I can make this happen. So then next thing you know, it's like one thing leads to another,
What do you love
And
the
then,
most? Like, what do you say like is the thing you love above everything else that you do?
Is it the behind the
Is it
camera, the
writing,
production,
is
the
it
acting?
producing,
Yeah.
acting?
God, I would say probably producing. Writing.
Okay.
Yeah. Acting is fun too. I like
She
the
like
fact that I could write a line if I wanted to throw myself in there.
Yeah.
And just be like,
Yeah,
if you're
"Girl,
in
just
production,
throw
if
me
you're behind
in
the
there,
camera, you got
little
that power.
cameo, And then I started trying to learn editing too, because I was like, I might as well learn that too.
Man, I'm such a
Man.
dinosaur when it comes to editing. It's tough. Like I've become serviceable, but
I love,
She is being modest over here. Let me tell
Yeah.
she's a beast in
Anika.
editing.
Anika.
She loves acting. Right.
Oh,
1920s
Lord.
headphones.
At least I watched Alicia grow and try different things and get involved with different areas of entertainment. And when I say she's well versed in different aspects and easy to work with, I remember holding me down, and we are going out for things together. But when I watched her produce on this the film she was talking about, the horror film, I was so like in awe and so proud. I just kept cheesing at her. I know she was like, stop. Like I was weird, like, because I was seeing her do so many different jobs, and what I saw was everything she's been doing through the years and helping other people, assisting, coordinating, whatever it was, it all came to fruition on this project. And she handled it well. I was like, she's bossing. And
You was killing.
Right.
like,
You was
yeah,
killing.
I was so proud because it's not easy producing
at all.
a film because it has to come together.
You got to deal with people. You got to. There's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot of
It was
fires
a
to
lot.
put out.
I know,
Y'all was asking me, hey, you want to come to set for
Yeah.
other scenes? I was like, nah.
I'm like, she's being modest, but that's when I saw Alicia come into her own and A.Dot take over, and I just see so
We go
many other
A.Dot.
things.
Oh,
A.Dot.
thank you.
I just wanted to say that. Let me jump in there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
But
thank
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Touching on
you.
that film, it was kind of a cool situation how that film even.
It was fun.
Oh, you
We
were
are-
in it
Yeah.
too?
I was in it too. Yeah. So
him
actually,
and her were in it too.
so
Yeah.
the guy who contacted me about that film, he's my frat brother and he's also my best friend back home's cousin. He hit me up. He's like, yo, I'm gonna be producing a film, and he lives in New Orleans. He's like, I'm producing a film in L.A. And do you know anybody who because I know you act and know folks. Do you know anybody who ADs or produces? And I was like thinking to myself, I was like, let me get back to you. I was thinking, and then Alicia had just moved back into town from
Yeah,
Arizona, and
just
I was
moved
like, I
back.
know Alicia would be perfect for this. Like she does production, yada yada yada, and I know she's easy to work. We've worked together, so I know
Yeah.
what you do. So I hit her. I was like, I got a person. I was like, if you want to meet her, I'll give you guys contact. Y'all exchange. Y'all had a conversation. I don't know what y'all talked about, but he contacted me and said she is great. He literally was
That
like,
was
she
it.
is great,
Look
and
at
I
us.
was like, bet, huh? And then so they went into getting their thing done or whatever, and then somehow I got drawn back into it. They were like, yeah, since everything was going smooth, we have this role we'd like to throw you in too. I was like, oh, bet, I'll show up.
Exactly,
Yeah. I like how y'all brought me back in the mix. I would just,
Yeah.
because I'm not always one to like, I need something from you to help out anybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
if it makes sense and you my people's,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
And
Like,
that's how I am too.
yeah.
If it's like there's a role or even creating a role,
Right.
because Anika didn't really have a role, but we
Right.
created that. We created the lines, and then I kept telling him.
We do look out for each other for sure.
This in, it makes sense,
Wow.
and
Research,
for
and she's
people,
sending
yeah.
them on sites and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang.
I sent him to her. To all of her stuff, and I was like, she's an award-winning actress, so
yeah.
get her.
Anika come with the chops. She come with the chops.
She did special effects.
I seen Anika's.
I'm learning.
I showed up to Anika's plays, boy. She be getting it in. Yeah.
I just went to a play. I went to go see Sean Mann. Remember?
Sean Mann.
He had a play he was doing for this festival. He only had 2 shows. It was pretty good. I was like, I'm becoming a man of leisure now. I go to the theater.
I go to theater, right? So I'm gonna go watch
I
Hamilton.
Been to a play, like, so long. Last time I went to a play, I was just like in New York. I took this chick out because girls love Broadway and shit. So I took her out. And it was my boy. It was a comic. He was acting in a play, and he got me tickets. So it was perfect. It was like I was like, yeah,
cool.
Let's take it to Broadway. My boy in this play. It was about the Yankees. I actually enjoyed it because I'm as a longtime Yankee fan. It was just that was cool. So I actually enjoyed the play, but it was also like great because like she liked it too. That was like the last time I went to a play. That must have been like 8-9 years ago. But normally dudes don't really go to plays unless it's to take out a chick to just try to impress her.
Bro, I did.
Oh, wow.
I did a couple plays
here. Outside of the artsy leisure guys, is he the leisure or?
I go watch plays to study. I watch plays to really.
But you go to plays just for plays.
I go to plays obviously to support friends and then also just to study.
Like, now I'll go support. I wouldn't have supported like in my 20s.
I'll watch it. I'll look at stuff, whatever. I did a couple plays out here, boy.
I did plays in college though, because I when I was in community college, I took theater, and so
that's good.
I did some of the theater.
I think everybody should take theater.
I do recommend. It was
even if you're not even in the theater realm, you should take a class because it just kind of opens you up.
I love watching them.
Just the process of rehearsing and getting lines right, and thinking like, yo, how the fuck am I gonna learn all these lines by the time of the show? And then when you just keep working it and they drill you, that process serves you great as an actor because eventually you have to learn how to memorize lines. And you definitely have to memorize lines in a shorter amount of time and work on a quicker process. But if you do at least 1 or 2 plays in your life or work on a production, I think you'll have way more respect for acting.
Right.
So
you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I got respect for I've done low end productions and better productions, and it's crazy.
I have a lot of respect.
I'm just laughing because I did one play.
Yeah, he's not laughing.
I did a play.
Was it a black play? Or
yes, both of them were black. I did one
play
play and it was cool. Like the play, it turned out good. The turnout was good. Everything's good. We weren't set to get paid, but she ended up paying us because they sold out the thing and she actually just threw us money, and I thought that was dope.
That's fair.
So one of the people who worked on that production was like, "Hey, I got this thing I've been writing myself. I was wondering if you'd be interested. I got a role. It'd be perfect for you." And I'm like. She was cool people. She was with the whole group. I said, I'll check it out. I read the script. The script wasn't bad. I was like, all right, bet. I was like, we'll do it. So I'm reading it. We're going to the rehearsals. And I'm just like, is everybody here an actual actor? And it wasn't on no shade. It was just like
what?
I'm about to do something that I've committed to. And it's like certain people weren't catching stuff. People didn't know their lines.
Yeah.
There was one girl there. There was one lady there. She older lady. She was actually an actress. She'd been on movies. She's on Boogie Nights. She's done stuff. So I was like, all right, respects to her. But everybody else, I was kind of like, ugh. So then, she tells us we're going to be doing our production at the Nate Holden Theater.
Oh,
and people know the Nate Holden Theater. All of a sudden, as we're rehearsing a few weeks go by, apparently the budget doesn't allow for Nate Holden Theater. So we have, I'm not going to say the church name in Compton, but we were at the church theater. In Compton.
That's a big step down,
and
man.
the production, it was so ridiculous. When I tell you ridiculous in terms of, we're in the middle of doing a scene. So they're doing the stage where, how they would typically close the curtain and then they would change the setup.
They didn't have a curtain.
The curtain was kind of janky.
Yeah.
So they went and took something off the stage that was actually in the next scene. So instead of just playing through it and just making up, the space, they brought the bed back onto the stage while the performance was going. So.
They're bringing the bed on while they're performing.
So listen. There was a bed that was in the scene. They took the bed off the stage, but the bed was still needing to be there. So somebody, I don't know who told them to bring it back on in mid-performance, but they're in there saying the lines, and this and that.
Oh my God.
And you're looking at them here, and then you're looking over here, and they're like.
Oh my God, that's funny.
And I'm sitting up, I'm looking backstage because I wasn't in this scene. I'm looking like.
Oh my God, what just happened?
Hey, I'm gonna ride this out, but never again. Because afterwards they were like, "Yeah, man, we got some things coming up." I said, "Bet, man, more power to y'all. Respect." I was like, "I love what y'all doing. I'll support." I probably won't be in it, but
I'll
like,
support.
we gonna keep trying to build, make this happen, you know.
yeah.
Yo,
but-
so
my
I don't know if
God,
you guys
that's
have heard in
funny.
the news they're doing a Set It Off stage play tour. Did y'all hear about that?
Oh yeah.
No, they
I
did.
heard
Vanessa
about that.
Simmons.
they did it.
No, it's the
Did they
tour is
already
happening
do it?
now.
Oh, they
it's
because they did
happening
one.
now?
My boy John was in it.
No,
John was in it.
well they're doing it again.
Oh, so they're bringing
this
it back.
time that Vanessa Simmons is in it. Debrat.
Wait, no,
Oh, shit.
I saw the one with Tamar, but
Tamar the Brat. Because remember, John was in
Tamar.
that.
Oh, okay.
Set it off stage play.
So they've done this before.
Mm.
Okay, it's back back again.
Oh wow.
What's funny is I didn't see
I
it
forgot
before
the
though.
other two who are in
I'm
it.
glad
though.
you mentioned that though, because I actually will. I didn't get to see it last time, so
Yeah.
I would actually
Set
go.
It Off, you
I
go?
would. I would go. Yeah.
Is it
I love to play and I love that movie. So
doing it again?
I think Nick is gonna.
Nick's gonna look it up.
I just know Vanessa Simmons is in it and Debrat's in it, and then I was trying to think about
okay.
who the third girl was because I figured
Who's the
Debrat's
Brat?
gonna be Cleo.
I was gonna say the Brat got to be playing
Definitely.
Queen Latifah role. Yeah.
And then they had to replace her because something she had to
The schedule?
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're doing a big tour. I know they're
Yeah.
gonna do Los Angeles at some point. They're gonna do the Orpheum Theater, so they selling tickets. That's a
Ooh.
big venue.
Oh,
They do.
I mean, yeah, if you got the right
Okay.
names on there.
Oh yeah, oh Keisha Napoleon. There you go. She's in it.
Hmm.
So that's 3 of the 4. I don't know who the 4th girl is.
Latoya
Latoya.
Latoya Luck is in it.
Oh, they have new people and Kyla Pratt.
Kyla Pratt was in it before, I
Mm.
believe.
Who's this?
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the 2021 tour though.
Shout out to my birthday twin, Kyla Pratt.
You said Kyla Pratt.
So who's the
We
official
both got the
cast
same
for this
birthday.
for the new run?
It's a bunch of
Mhm.
that's what he. I think it's.
Are they switching up by?
Latoya, Keisha Napoleon, Debrat, and Vanessa.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Is Mary J. Blige in it?
She wouldn't do that.
No, it's not Mary. I don't know who that is.
Mary working. Mary on Power.
Right.
Mary doing baby.
She's
She ain't
nice.
doing no stuff.
Mary be doing her thing. You know what's
Mary's
crazy?
doing
Not
her
that there's
thing.
anything wrong with that, but it's just there's certain
You know what's crazy? Going back to like music, I actually watched like you look at like the star power that like Drake and J. Cole have now. I actually went back. We have this thing called Bumper Shoot in Seattle. It's kind of like our small version of Coachella. And I actually went and saw J. Cole. J. Cole opened up for Drake, and Drake opened up for Mary J. Blige.
Wow.
Huh? And that was back when
Wow,
like
that's
J.
kinda
Cole was
cool.
just like getting in the scene.
Coming out.
Wow.
Friday Night Lights.
Right, and Drake was opening up for Mary J. Blige. Now Drake's obviously one of the biggest stars in the
Yeah.
Man,
world.
shit, J.
Like,
Cole headlines his own arena.
that's what
too.
I'm saying, and sells.
I
bitches
remember
out.
meeting him
like,
when he was on Degrassi.
Drake, you met
Drake,
Drake?
yeah.
Wow, how was that?
oh, you talking
I
about
was
Shave
meeting-
Drake?
I was meeting
with
Aubrey.
So my niece was so in love with Degrassi, so I took her to Tucson,
I didn't watch
I had a
that
run
show.
with Degrassi. I watched
And,
it.
and
I
we
didn't
met
watch it.
him, and he was so nice. I'm like, oh, he was all tall and stuff. He was all nice.
So it was just like
That
right
was-
She
before he
said
started
he was all
rapping, or-
tall.
yeah,
and
this was
stuff.
before he was still on Degrassi. Like
Okay.
he was still.
Because I think like his
Wheelchair-
last year or two,
wheelchair
wheelchair
Jimmy.
after he got shot. Okay,
yeah.
Did you find out that he
Everyone
wasn't in a
thought-
wheelchair?
I watched it too then.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Degrassi for a little
But he
minute.
was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he
That's
was
what's up.
nice.
She said,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah,
funny.
Would you do
he
it?
was tall.
I always wanted to do at least. Okay, I don't know if I always wanted to do it, but I feel like in a comedy career for me, it was like I should do at least one play with like a singer who had a hit in the '90s. Like you know how they get Albie Shore, Christopher Williams
Yes.
always in a black.
Ooh, the light skinned
Like-
legends.
like
Light skinned
children.
legends.
I want to do a play with a veteran, old head R&B singer and something that.
You want him in the play?
In the play.
Oh, you wanna play him?
because well, I don't know, maybe a 2000 singer, so I guess like Neo now,
Okay.
or Mario.
Mario.
I want to do a play with an R&B singer in
Yeah.
the play.
Is it
and
like that? The episode.
Tank, yeah,
Can't be
Tank
Tank.
doing plays. Ray J did a play.
There was an episode on
He
the
can't.
Wayans
He
Brothers.
interesting
Yeah,
character.
You
Mama,
see
though.
that with
Mama, I wanna sing
Mama, I
with
want to
Keith
sing with
Sweat.
Keith Sweat.
Yeah, they make it.
I'm not gonna
sad.
say he's
That
horrible.
was
But he an
funny.
interesting character. in person.
That's my uncle. He's horrible. Tank is horrible actor.
That was funny.
So, Nika, you've gone to these black plays out here?
Have I been to them?
Oh,
You've been in some too?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think of it? How is it? Like,
I think
it's,
it could be at
it's,
everything.
Nika
it's,
be getting
it's
her
comedic
acting
from the
on.
outside looking in, but since you are an artist as well and you've actually experienced, like, how is it as fun as the way I think it's like funny to do plays like that, where sometimes the writing is a little cheesy and
Jesus on the Run.
Jesus on the run and
But that should give you
Lord
a
my
play.
shepherd,
Right.
It was
No,
good.
but this
Funny.
dick don't feel it.
It just varies.
did.
A lot of it has to do with the cast, because I've
Yeah.
been on
Absolutely.
Okay.
Black Box Theater, and then I've also did Broadway, New York
Nice.
Theater,
Yeah.
nice,
and
nice.
toured.
Okay.
So it kind of depends on the chemistry of the cast
Mhm.
Okay.
and everything. I've been in some productions that were not so nice.
Mhm.
Okay. We don't
Yeah,
have
it's
to name
like
names.
it's all like did they cast their friends or did they cast somebody who actually works together?
No, both,
Okay.
Right.
both. So
Yeah.
like
That's a lot-
what you
happens a
said,
lot.
the singers and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and
That
then, you know,
that was really popular
have a
in the
singer, though.
early 2000s.
It was.
Mid
Oh, that's
2000s.
funny.
That's why I'm laughing because
Like with
every
the Tyler Perrys.
R&B singer.
Lord, please give me a
Tyler
man.
Perry didn't Tyler Perry have to do from Silk?
Probably.
Probably.
He probably
yeah.
he was some singer. I'm sure.
Candy
Yeah.
had plays and traveling
Yeah.
and things like that. But
Yeah.
the reason they do that is
Yeah,
to
Medea's
keep
Family
the
Reunion.
one to bring in the audience.
The audience,
The
they buy
money.
the ticket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to spend the
Yeah.
money, and then also
Right.
to keep people entertained. Because if you're like me, I have a short attention span.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go to sleep or zone
yeah.
out if it's just words.
There's gotta be a nigga
Yeah.
running around.
And it
gotta be
better
somebody
and it
catching
better
a
not start
heart
too late.
attack.
Right, and if
There's
it's
gotta be something.
Starlight,
There's
you
got to
know,
be a
I'm-
jealous man catching a girlfriend cheating. And
I need some
Well,
drama. I
well,
need some
that-
drama,
that
some good
depends-
singing.
That depends
Yeah.
on the production.
Right,
That-
right,
They
right,
used
right.
to call that back in the day like chitlin circuit
Chitlin
or
circuit,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't knock anybody's art. That's their thing.
hey, there's
Yeah.
a lane
Because
for everyone.
There are people like
Mhm.
that. It's just I don't know. I prefer like a lot more organization. I
agree.
like a set. I
Like
like
a
a
set.
wardrobe. I
Mhm.
like lighting schemes
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
She like
So-
doing it big.
So can I ask you this? Since you do have a network and you know people in those scenes in those spaces, can you share with the audience some black playwrights who are actually like doing good productions that people might not know about?
But the first person comes to mind is Leon Gray.
Okay.
He's been in the game.
What's he known for?
Quite
Like,
some time.
yeah.
I did a play with him, Girls of Summer,
Okay.
and he did a play about the Tuskegee Airmen and,
Cool.
and the guys in
Red
that.
Tails. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's not
So-
use Red Tails as the example.
Well, I'm just saying, like, so people know the reference.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He usually does things that historical pieces and things like that.
Neo
Um,
Red Tails.
I have to shout out my girl Kanique Sky.
Okay.
Kanique is she started out acting and she's now doing child acting coaching and things like that. But she's a phenomenal writer, phenomenal singer, and she has put on some great productions. When I say there's a set,
Mm-hmm.
she goes out all out.
Nice.
So I would definitely
Do they tour
recommend.
like all over the country or just certain regions?
well all over.
They tour all over.
Yeah,
Okay.
all over. Don Welch, he has some great productions. I've been in some things with him
Yeah.
alongside some really dope actors, celebrity
Nice.
casts, and
Nice.
different things like that. Wilshire Ebel are performing there. Performing at the Spreckles Theater.
Mhm.
But those are some of the people. I recently just saw Jorge
Sanchez.
Jorge Sanchez. I'm getting stumbly. He's a writer, phenomenal writer,
Mhm.
and he was first an attorney.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
he was, working hard and grinding, trying to get his projects shot.
Mhm.
We were doing short films together and things like that. So he went a different direction. So he said, I'm going to put on a stage play. And that way, that was a great marketing tool to get money in for different projects that you want to do.
Right.
And
right.
actually,
Gotcha.
the play was called Misunderstood.
Mhm.
And it was
good.
actually really good.
It was really good. I went with
Yeah.
that.
The
I
acting.
misunderstood.
Watching my friend do the play that he did last week, it made me consider like, I wonder if I would write like a play or a one man show, more so a play, because what when you're working on like scripts, like like you have a pilot or whatever that they're working on, especially with me doing comedy. When you're doing, I have to constantly keep doing rewrites and like shave stuff off and cut fat and tighten things up. But with plays, I'm like, yo, they get to breathe. My friend had said there was a lot of dialogue, like he had to learn a lot in a short amount of time. Like it was like he said like 100 pages in a month.
It's a lot of
It's a
dialogue.
lot. But the writer in me that was like watching the play, I'm like, yo, they get to like really cook and like do their stuff. Like now his play was a serious stuff. It had elements of comedy in it, so there was parts where people laughed, and then there's intense scenes and things like that. But what I just got out of it was like, yo, they just get to like get all their words out,
free.
get all their ideas out. You don't have to cut so much in a play as you do when
Well,
you're writing a
you
script.
do,
It's
you
different
do, because
formats,
there's
obviously.
there's a time constraint with
Yeah,
the plays.
yeah.
It's just you have to respect the audience time too.
Yeah.
Now, I recommend there's a theater, the Arbitorium. I think it's Will Rogers or some Rogers, and it's a theater that I went to that's in the woods. It's right there off of Topanga Canyon, and the productions there are phenomenal. I saw Haiti. the production, and our congresswoman was there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Midsummer Night's Dream and
Classic.
different things like that. And when I say you're out literally in the woods in a Roman theater
Topanga.
style half
Mhm.
theater, and it's a large stage, and you're literally, it's night and you're in the woods, and there's full lighting, full set, full
Wow.
production, and those were some of the better productions that I've actually seen.
Shout out to the playwrights.
Playwrights.
Very nice, very nice.
Very, very nice.
Whereas we're touching up all these beautiful topics here, I believe A.Dot, we had a couple things we wanted to touch on before we get up out of here. And what was it? Some celebrity birthdays that we had. I believe it's Usher's birthday today.
I'll tell you guys a few celebrity birthdays today. Usher is 43.
Shout out to Usher.
He's
Yes.
at Vegas. Anybody going to the Vegas show yet?
I haven't.
And we
You
would
going?
love to go.
That was my first talent show, by the way, was Usher.
Usher.
Just throwing that out there.
You did Usher songs?
I did Usher. If you want to come see it, I have it at the house.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Love me some Usher.
I should drop it today just
Throwback
because.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Jay Farrow is
shout out to the
34.
homie Jay
Oh,
Farrow.
Jay Farrow, okay.
Yep. One
Jay's
of my
funny. Good dude.
Hilarious.
one of my favorite actors, John Cena, is 51. You might remember him in Selena. He played the
Okay.
Dad?
husband, boyfriend.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and
I didn't know
he's
who that
also in,
was. I was just going. I was
he's
like,
He's like
in,
one of my
uh,
personal favorites. We were like,
Chicago PD.
yeah.
No, Seda.
Oh, say
John
it.
Seda.
John
Yeah.
Seda, okay.
Yeah.
very good.
He's
Selena.
very
He's
yeah.
a great father.
Mm.
Singer Karen White is 56.
Shout out to Karen White.
Karen
What
White.
hit songs did she have again?
I know Superwoman.
Superwoman.
Yeah. She had.
Giving you the benefit of the doubt. Was that her?
There was another song.
Oh.
I mean, mid '80s, late '80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into
90s,
the
I
going
think
into the
it was
90s. Going into the
80s.
90s. Yeah.
Speaking of somebody, Stephen A. Smith, who we kind of
Shout out to
That's
Stephen
funny.
A. Smith.
54.
We didn't
Queen-
get to
Queen's
touch
in the
on him, but
building.
we're gonna give
Yeah.
him that benefit.
Queen's in the building.
Uh,
I know he's annoying sometimes, but he's still Queens. I still gotta support my.
He raps Queens on my dog. Like.
let's see who else.
This is disgraceful.
Right.
Quarterback for Detroit Lions, Jared Goff. He's 27.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
HBD.
There we go.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to him.
So a few birthdays today.
But yeah,
Is it still Libra season?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
technically,
Libras.
yeah. At the end of
I'm not a
October
science
20th
person,
is the
but
next moon.
I'm
If
just trying to-
anybody wanted to
the
know.
next moon.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm trying to
next
figure
moon
out the
is
same
October
moon
20th.
yet. Like. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little rundown so everybody can show
Yeah.
like where they at, where you got people can find you, how people can watch your stuff. So we'll go ahead and start it off with brother Nick over here.
Yes.
So Nick Alexander, like I said, you can follow me at Nick of Comedy, NICKOFCOMEDY, all things social media. I'm gonna be back in New York doing shows the 21st through the 30th. But if you guys want to come out to my show, October 31st, I'm doing a half hour, and I'm launching my Black and Brown Effect comedy show at
Hey.
the UG Comedy Club inside of the Adoro Lay Restaurant in Soho. But if you go to my handles on social media, Nick of Comedy, the link to where you can get tickets is in my bio. So New York, I'm coming home to do shows. So yeah, make sure you support that show, the Black and Brown Effect comedy show.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna try to launch that in LA as well. But this is gonna
That'll
be the
be good.
first
Let's
one.
get that cracking.
And I'm coming home. I haven't performed in New York in almost 2 years, so I'm very excited about that. So be on the lookout for that. And when does this go out? Live. So if you want to see me in LA tomorrow night, I'm hosting at the West Side Theater in Santa Monica at 8 p.m. And then I'm doing the 9:30 show at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah.
if you want to spend your Friday night, you got some
Okay.
options. And yeah, but everything at Nick of Comedy. Thank you.
For sure, for sure. And Nick of Comedy.
Nice.
Also gonna touch back, even though she didn't introduce herself in the beginning.
She just
Huh?
kind of came in.
Oh, she just kind of chimed in. Okay.
She'll be one
So
of
we're
our
gonna go ahead and
guests. She'll
skip
be
back.
Our first guest, yeah, next
All right,
week.
so we're gonna go back with our other host here.
What up?
Hey,
It's A.Dot. You can catch me at A.Dot Laughs, ADOT Laughs, LAUGHS.
cause she got that
Catch
laugh.
me here, and of course, I got to shout out my Arizona Cardinals. We 5-0, still undefeated, you know.
Meanwhile,
So keep it going, team. Keep it going.
Are you a heavy
yeah.
football head? That's your sport?
Oh yeah, that's my sport.
No, yeah, she
Yeah.
banged Cardinals hard since I met her.
I be Arizona all day.
So
every
Cardinals
day,
and Seahawks,
everywhere.
y'all have like history?
Yeah,
Seahawks.
we
I mean, yeah.
like watched.
We
the
watch
game,
games
we
together.
talked
Yeah, right
shit.
now it's a little unfair because my guy's a little, hand challenged.
Hey.
Russell
Are you
Wilson's
do
out.
for the Phoenix Suns in basketball?
Oh,
She
yeah,
does.
yeah.
She's Phoenix all day.
You
Uh,
sports
everything,
Phoenix,
everything,
Diamondbacks?
Arizona.
Across the board.
Yeah, Diamondbacks.
I'm
Yeah.
still sour from the
everything.
0-1 World Series, but it's all good.
Oh, I was there. Oh my God, it was the best.
Me and my grandmother, we always wanted to go to the stadium in Arizona because the swimming pool in right field.
Oh, that's fun.
We always wanted to go there just to be in the swimming pool during the baseball game and catch a home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also got over there. We got Nick's on the 1s and 2s over there doing his thing.
Pray for me tomorrow. We have Robbie Perone and
Hey.
Anthony
Robbie.
Wanzer hosting Freaky Friday. So
Ooh, Freaky Friday.
I think
What's that
Anika's
podcast about?
co-hosting, right?
It's freaky.
oh,
Or
shit.
no? Are you co-hosting with them?
And
Okay.
Anika,
What's the
and Anika's
podcast
gonna
about?
be.
So you know it's gonna be freaky.
It's Freaky Friday.
It's Freaky Friday. All
Oh,
things
sorry.
freaky. Literally. Like
titties come out every
titties, porn
It's
stars,
Freaky
dancers.
Friday for reals up in here.
Nick said, I might have to sleep here.
Yo, what's
Nick
the
don't
link?
even
What's
know.
the link so I can tune in and support?
Right. It is going to be on BET Uncut.
It's
No,
gonna
like-
be up in here while Speedy's away.
oh, yeah.
But thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
A-Dot. Make sure you guys check out Jamie Foxx's book tour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so tomorrow's the first date. I think they're in New York, if I'm not mistaken, then Philly,
Oh, yeah.
then Texas, then they come back to the West Coast. So,
What's his book called? What's it about?
great question. See, you put me on the spot.
You ain't even. What kind of?
Cool.
It's a long ass title. Hold on.
I'll let him look up the title. I'm going to go ahead and throw out my thing out there while he
Shoot
figure that out. So, yeah, you can find me on Instagram at It's William Basham. Because somebody won't let me get William Basham,
Hilarious.
three followers, no post, but he won't give me my name. So, I'm fighting for my name right now. I'm fighting, Cole. But on TikTok, I was able to get William Basham. So at William Basham on TikTok, YouTube is the same thing, William Basham. Yeah, you can find me on there, and you can also find me here.
There it is, William
Hey.
Basham.
The name of the
No
book
name.
tour is Act Like You Got Some Sense.
Act like you
Act
got
like
some sense.
Jamie got a
Jamie
book. Will got a
Foxx's-
book. I gotta get some books from
We
you.
need to write
Yeah,
books.
man.
Yeah.
There we go.
Get on your book tour.
Next up.
Any information like what's it about? Like, is it like a memoir? Is it about his like personal thing? What's the?
I
Do you even
honestly
know?
have no idea.
All right, but it's Jamie Foxx, so it's
out
gonna
on
be
live.
good though.
It's out on audio today. So if you could listen to
On
audio,
Audible.
you can check it out today. If you
Yeah.
listen to audio.
I should listen to more audios on my ADHD self. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I can't read physical shit. I haven't read a physical book in a while. I feel like I like listening to this stuff. I'm in my car all day, especially out here, so I
Yeah.
consume better with just audio.
Mhm.
But
It's
shout
a lot
out to the
easier.
book readers though.
Shout out to the book readers out there. You gotta
Yay,
read. You
book
gotta
readers.
read.
They're gonna be extinct in about 10
I'm
years.
still
Right.
reading. I'm just reading my
Aw.
So when you acting, you gonna get them audio scripts.
Yeah, it's over.
Audio.
10 years is over, man.
Yeah, boy.
Like a
But
book.
all right,
All right.
that's your group over here. No name show.
No name.
We did it again.
phone. Peace.
See you next
All
week.
right, peace.
We out of here, yo.
Nice.
Is it still recording?
I was trying to I didn't give nobody a hand signals. When I was trying to close it up, I was trying, but nobody was catching my signals. I was like.
You're gonna be